Oh, welcome to episode 32 of TerrorVision Horror Podcast. I'm one of your hosts, Dan McGuinness, and joining me on the meat wagon is my co-host, Jennifer, the Dream Warrior Strand. Toot toot. Toot toot. Together we are two people with a love of horror and feel the burn of our obsolete Blockbuster memberships. But first, I've still got that in my notes, but first, each week we go through a fun fact about ourselves because we know that you want to know more about me and Jennifer. So, first up, my fact is, even though I'm a skateboarder, and I've been a skateboarder for my whole life, basically, and as a 42-year-old man, I've only ever broken one bone.
That's insane.
I know.
How? Okay, so did you break your bone skateboarding, or was it okay?
Oh, yeah.
What did you break and how did you do it?
I decided that I've been a skateboarder my whole life, and without,
Did you just
learning...
go and break your own bones?
No, without learning to do it, I decided I was just going to do a really big downhill.
Sure.
They go down massively down the hills. I found a big hill in my area, and I had my mate with me who was not a skateboarder.
Uh-huh.
And he drove to the bottom of the hill. And I went down the hill, and I made it all the way down the bottom of the hill, but I got mad speed wobbles, and at the bottom, I didn't even check. There was just a pile of gravel on the road.
This sounds exactly like that episode of The Simpsons where Bart goes down the hill and narrowly escapes all these different things, or the oil, the marbles, the glue, and then is just unstuck by this one little pebble and just goes bowling down the hill.
That does happen in skateboarding a fair lot. You always just hit, you hit a little, you chalky, you call it.
Yeah.
Because the rock locks and goes along the ground, it makes a little chalk mark.
Yeah.
Anyhow, I didn't chalky, I just my board just stopped and I flew forward, and it was like the roughest piece of shit Flagstaff Hill road. And I just hit the ground and then slid 4 meters. And I didn't cut myself. I melted my flesh. All my arm melted. And I landed on my hip, and my hip ground down to the hip bone. You could see my hip bone.
Oh.
And yeah, all I broke. Do you know your scaphoid bone in your hand? It's a tiny little bone just in your thumb. Just when you pull your thumb up and it makes a little ding in there. Yeah, just in there. That's all I broke. But it stuffed me up, and so I had weeping wounds. You could see my hip, and I got driven. Yeah, and my mate just bought a new it was basically a little lady Golf. You know those Golfs? And they had the convertible Golf.
Yeah.
And he wasn't in this game, but he had to drive me to the hospital. I bled all over his new car.
That's exactly what you want.
Yeah, and then I got I got patched up, and I had to use a wire brush to scrape out all the rocks out of all my wounds.
Ugh.
And but I got patched up, and then they worked out my little thumb thing was broken, and put in a cast for 12 weeks. Luckily, I had income protection insurance, which I'd taken out 2 weeks before with my work.
Yes.
So I had complete pay, basically. I had 85% of my pay, but I was on a midnight shift at the time, so so it was basically day shift pay for 12 weeks, and that's when I bought. It was through summer, bought a blow-up pool, put it inside my house, sat there and drank goon out of a sack while playing video games with my friends for 12 weeks. It was the best.
This sounds amazing.
I know. That's my one bone break.
Wow.
I mean, I've been injured heaps of times, but not. Yeah, I reckon I got really strong bones because I've done stuff that should have broken.
Yeah. Well, you might be... Well, you're not unbreakable now, but, you might have some superpowers.
When I was younger, I was very sick, and I did take a lot of steroids because my kidneys didn't work. Maybe they hardened my bones. There's always been a theory. I don't think there's any science behind it, but...
Yeah, it's a theory
it's my superhero backstory. Who are you? I'm hard bone. What do you do?
That sounds great.
Hard bone?
And you're like, hard boning.
Hard boning. Anyhow, what's your fact?
It's nothing as fun and cool and interesting as that.
I actually thought mine was going to be boring, but it turned out to be a good story.
It's a fucking great story. I love it. So my fun fact is, I like carrots, but hate carrot cake. I like banana cake, but hate bananas.
Sounds like someone is indecisive in their desserts.
It's true. I'm not a big desserts person, though.
I never was. Until I got older.
Yeah.
I think the older you get, the more you care about dessert. And then all of a sudden, when I got I was diagnosed with being pre-diabetic, and they told me I was never allowed to have sugar again. All of a sudden, I cared about desserts.
That's all I want is desserts.
And now I look at people with food envy over the table at restaurants.
No, I'm not that bad. I'd much prefer to have something salty than sweet.
Oh yeah, I'm a savoury dude.
Yeah.
My favourite thing in the world is just salt-flavoured chips.
Yes. Oh, my Lord, yes.
You put flavours in there, it ruins the experience
all these
of salt.
wankery flavours of chips nowadays. It pisses me off.
But you know, like, so here we're saying, so this is interesting because it's basically you're just saying, like, you have no, like, normal concept of what you like.
Well, that does sound like me.
I'm going to put that down. That is a weird fact.
Yeah, great. I love it. Thank you.
It's okay. Let's move on to horror news. Yes, so every week, me and Jen take you through the horror news you need to know about. Welcome to Horror News Werewolf. What's happened in horror news this week, Jem?
Okay, so I get a little bit of Halloween Kills news this week, which is super exciting because, of course, it was meant to be released this year. It's not getting released this year because we cannot have nice things in 2020. But they are promising 10 times the kills and twice the thrills.
Really?
Yes. So it's just about to be rated R. For horror, violence, bloody images, language, brief drug use, and nudity.
Well, you know Michael's not going to do much swearing.
No.
Unless he does, unless he's like a new Michael that swears heaps.
I just assume he's going to get his dick out.
Well, we can all assume that he will. And we all know it's got a little Jason mask on the end for no reason. And you're like, that's what happened to Jason after he went to hell. He became Michael Myers' penis.
This excites me because I just want it to be bloodier and more disgusting and just gross and gory.
Well, yeah, I'm down with a little bit more kill. I mean, the first one had some pretty good kills. Not many people like the toilet kill thing of the girl. Everyone thought that was a bit rough that I've talked to. Like, it did seem a bit out of place as well.
I think because she seemed... I mean, she's a journalist, but that nothing against journalists. I was almost one. But... yeah, the guy that she was with was such a prick, and then she got...
Murderized.
Murderized.
Did he get murderized?
He did, but it was very...
It was like, whatever. Yeah, because they made him out to be an actual dickhead. They made him out to be a pretentious podcaster, like, wanting to be an influencer, like basically a rubbish human in this day and age. That's the exact reason... definition of rubbish human these days is people who just their goal is to be an influencer. That is like people out there, that is not a goal.
No.
Just to be an influencer, just so you get... So what do you get? You get free stuff and you don't have any skills and people like follow you. That's basically what's wrong with the whole world at the moment.
See, I don't even know what I would do if I was an influencer. It'd be like, hey, Mystic Museum, send me some bird bones and some herbs. Herbs.
What? So you can make a Resident Evil remedy potion?
Yeah.
Send me a green herb and a purple herb and a red herb.
And I'll mix them together.
Yeah, and I won't be poisoned.
Send... I don't know. I don't even know. I don't even like that much stuff. I've got very small amount of interest.
I mean, is that the whole thing? Like, people want to be influencers, they get like free games sent to them. But I'm like, video games aren't that expensive. Like, everyone can afford a video game. Well, not everyone, but the majority of people who play video games can like afford the game that they want to buy. Even if you want to save up for it, it's not worth being. I mean, let's just say if I had to be an influencer and to get free things, I suppose I would want food.
Yeah. Yeah.
But who's going to mail me food?
I don't know. Like, send me food, movies.
You can't get movies.
Some vinyls, but even then, I just go and get that shit myself.
Yeah, exactly. It takes the fun out. Basically, as I said, it's for people who don't have a skill.
Yeah.
Their skill is greed. They want free things, and the free things makes them feel like they're better than other people. I'm like, cool. You're
not.
You're the most unsecure person in the world. Anyhow, sorry people if you're into that, and you are listeners.
That's.
Don't get me wrong. I wouldn't mind like my shop going gangbusters, but that doesn't make you an influencer.
No.
A successful shop online is not an influencer.
No.
Anyhow, sorry. Halloween Kills. Killing people. Lots of violence.
Yep.
What? Rated R is great. Was the first one an R?
Well, what was it rated here? I think it was rated R here. But R rating...
yeah, in America.
America is different to here. So I think that's like an MA.
To pop an R on it, you need to get some good...
yeah.
You need to get some good violence in it.
But I also feel that the way our Australia Classification Board is at the moment, there's a few Karens behind the scenes. Who knows? It might get that R rating after all.
Yeah, true. That's fine. Who cares? It's not as if
Well,
I can't
most
see it
people-
with an R rating.
Wait, except for teens, and teens are the core demographic of horror films.
Yeah, they always say it. I've watched horror. You didn't tell me you never watched an R-rated film before you were 18.
I went to so many R-rated movies.
Yeah, exactly.
R's, MAs.
I mean, the first Halloween, as beautiful and perfect as it is, its one down point was its kills were kind of boring. So
and that movie is R-rated.
yeah. Well, that's because that was a time and a place. Who's doing this one? Is it? It's not. Who's directing? What was the guy's name?
That is a very good question. I can't remember who's directing, but Danny McBride is one of the screenwriters.
Danny McBride.
Yes. Yes.
Now we're gonna go in here and fuck this gun up. You know, like-
And that's exactly what Michael says is in a monologue right there. I'm going to go in and fuck the guy up.
Yeah. So Michael Myers in a monologue is Danny McBride. I love it.
See? Perfect.
You want? I'm gonna wank over everything you've got.
So good. So,
Michael,
yeah.
that's not wanking, isn't it? That's killing. Oh,
Well, then.
anyhow. So this is great. Double the amount of kills. That means there is going to be a lot of killing. Then again, he might do some double kills or some triple kills. You know, like he gets a group of people
that would
in
be
some
good.
sort of way. Yeah, as long as it might even go the Friday the 13th vibe of just like it's all like the kills are all just like how inventive and funny are they?
I would like that because, I mean, Halloween is not the more comical or inventive one. Friday the 13th definitely is. I think Halloween takes itself more serious.
The best Friday the 13th kill is still like the dude.
Sleeping bag?
No, I think the dude in the bed and he gets
Yeah.
stabbed in the back and then he folds the bed up so the guy gets bent the wrong way. I think that's one of the best kills in all
That
of
is good. I do like that one.
I think that's from Freddy vs. Jason
It
though.
is,
So
yes.
it's not even like in the core series. But that I always thought that was one of my favourites. I thought it was hilarious. Like hilarious.
It is good because you see his little rubber legs.
But yeah, the sleeping bag on the tree, that is very cool as well. That's a good one. Everyone likes that one.
Yep.
And the third one is in the video game, the one where he puts the knife in the ground and pulls the girl like over
Oh,
the
yeah.
knife, like across it, so it splits up from a vajuju, pulls her like gives her a full body vajuju.
Oh, full body for Juju. That's terrible.
And what's next in the news?
Anyway, so Radio Silence, who, as we know, they did Ready or Not, and they are making Scream. They are doing an MGM horror movie called Reunion.
I didn't know they did VHS as well.
Have I seen VHS?
It's like a
It's an anthology. Isn't
anthology, but like not. But it is.
it? I probably have seen it.
I remember watching it. I only watched there was like 3 stories. I only watched the first one. It's not that I didn't like it. I think I was too scared.
Okay, sure. We
I just found like some found footage movies just make me feel a bit rickety, Pete. Like when I'm watching them, like because of the swaying of the camera, and I think that one kind of did it a bit. But not to say it probably wasn't awesome. And I reckon there would have been some wicked idea in it. I was just like at the time I was probably hungover when it came out.
Yeah, I usually have the hangover anxiety, so I can't watch anything heavy.
You just watch like
I just have to watch like SpongeBob.
Space Jam.
Yeah, yes.
It's constantly.
Yes, I do. Nothing but Space Jam.
All right, so what was this news? Sorry.
Co-written by Guy Busick, who was one of the writers for Ready or Not. This is going to be a high school horror movie. However, in Reunion, the horrific experience of high school reunions is taken to a new extreme when a group of uninspired old friends become the only hope for survival against an unwelcome shape-shifting creature.
Oh, shape-shifting. I wonder if we go like emulating human shape-shifting or just like a big monster that changes
I would like all of the above, please.
into everything.
Which is, I mean, there's not a lot of information about this. This was literally just announced like a day or two ago. I could think of nothing worse than going to my high school reunion.
I like high school reunions, but like then the ones from all my school, they're never organised good enough. So it's like they're never big enough. Like it's hardly ever many of the people in the year. It's like you're getting like 10, maybe like 15 at most of the whole year level, and you're like, you just need like Flagstaff Hill, man, Aberfoyle Park. It's hard to motivate people to do it, especially 30 years later when they have to go see school people.
Yeah, I went to Wollonga High.
Oh,
So,
yeah.
Yeah.
Great almonds down there.
Great almonds, yes.
Good skate ramp. Oh, no, that's McLaren Vale.
Yeah, McLaren Vale, good skate ramp. Yes. So yeah, like I'm keen for like I say, there's not a lot of information. And obviously, if it's by the Radio Silence people, I really want Samara Weaving to be in it. But
Will she? We don't know.
Yeah, who knows? So yeah, that is that in a nutshell.
Yeah, sounds good. Shape-shifting creature, school reunion. These guys always have good ideas. They're like the new brains of horror. If you were the new thinkers, they're like, let's take this horror movie and put some jazz into it.
Yeah, jazz hands.
Which is what kind of the movie we watched this week needed. A little bit more jazz, but we'll get into that.
That's fair. And the last article of the day, well, this one's just for you, Dan.
Oh my god, so good.
Okay, Bruce Campbell, returning. Ash, Evil Dead, the game.
I know, the video game. How good, because there was all that controversy. I just realised then while looking at his face. There's all this controversy about, that thing about him being in Mortal Kombat?
Yeah, so all of the comments I saw on all of the articles that were like scrolling through my newsfeed was everyone bitching and moaning about, this is what he was doing instead of being in Mortal Kombat 11.
Heaps better idea.
And I'm like, yeah, this is cooler.
This is heaps better. Why not have your own game?
Yeah.
Instead of just being a tack-on character. I think, down DLC characters in games, they're like, they're 1 week thought and then no one cares about them.
I won't go and download a character.
Did you know, like, back in the days of PS2, my dream game was always I wanted them to make an Evil Dead game. They've made Evil Dead games in the past, but what I wanted was basically a game which was set in the first game with the cabin in the middle, and there was like, a certain amount of deadites. So you might have gone there with each game it loaded up with different characters. Well, you were always Ash, but you might go in with like 3 girls and 2 guys. Your group randomly generated characters, and within that they go in, and they turn into deadites as it goes through. But they're so hard to kill that basically the whole game is just you slowly chipping away and taking out these like 5 or 6 deadites and stuff.
Yeah.
And like hiding from them, trying to separate them so you don't take on 2 at a time because they're so powerful. And the damage in them was real-time damage that you keep doing to them, and they keep getting more mangled and fucked up throughout the whole game.
Sounds great.
Yeah, I know. But to me, that was my dream game. And I'm like, we're so far past. And to me, I remember the graphics in my head, right? And the graphics in my imagination game are actually worse than graphics now. But to me, that was the ultimate. And I can always remember like there'll be bits where you're crawling, and there'll be ones where you've like lopped off the legs, and to get the limbs off and that were really hard.
Yeah.
And stuff like that. And you were a really weak character, so it'd be really like just to do damage on them was really satisfying.
Is there some kind of like exhaustion level that you're going through?
Yeah, and stuff like that. So there'd be times where you couldn't just keep hacking or whatever. You'd have to like run away, hide, get yourself back together, and hide in a way that they can't find you for a while.
Then that brings in a little bit of humour then, because once you're exhausted, you've got to stop. You're like halfway through hacking the bone. They're gonna get up, and then they're on like half a bone. Like,
and stuff like that, and like the bits will be coming off, and then the bits that you chop off would come alive, and you still have to deal with them as little tiny bits. That was my game. Like
that sounds great.
Yeah, but this game is not that. It looks like it kind of looks like it might be that. But this looks more like a Left 4 Dead clone to me.
Yeah.
Using the entire Evil Dead universe. TV series, movies, everything. And I think it's going to be a roster of characters you get to choose from.
Yeah.
Like Dead by Daylight style.
Yes.
So you choose your player.
Dana DeLorenzo, who's Kelly from Ash vs. Evil Dead. Marcus Gilbert, who's Arthur from Army of Darkness. Scotty from Evil Dead.
Who has that weird scene where he pulls the stick out of him and he just just gushes out with blood, which I always thought could have been his dick. Could have been.
You never know. And then of course like the Oldsmobile's in it as well.
Oh yeah, the car.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it looks like you've got obviously an area, because they're going to take everything from Evil Dead. Like you might even actually get to the Army of Darkness in this game. But
maybe.
But this is PS5, which I'm fucking loving. PS5 and PS4. So, but yeah, they're just in the trailer that they put up at the moment. You can have a look at it. The trailer's up.
Put it on
You see the graphics of it, and it says like, I think it says like pre-alpha graphics or whatever.
Mm-hmm. So it's done by Boss Team Games and Saber Interactive, who did World War Z. Now, there was a lot of hype around World War Z, and then it came out and no one gave a shit about it.
But it's wicked.
Okay.
I bought that game. I streamed that game a couple of times. That game has great graphics. It's great. It's the only thing about it is it doesn't have longevity. It only had maybe there was DLC. I'm only talking about the day one release game.
Yep.
It had 3 levels that you could just play over and over again, kind of thing. But that was very Left 4 Dead as well.
Sure.
But you had hordes and stuff, taking out massive amounts of zombies, setting up gun turrets for zombies. And with really cool graphics. It was a great game. It was just wicked fun. And yeah, so if that's these dudes, they're going to have real good attention to detail, because that's what those guys have.
Yeah.
Or girls, team, folks. Folks. I like folks. That's what Obama says, so it must be cool. He calls everyone folks.
Yeah, that's cool.
Folks. So yeah, I'm into this. Bruce Campbell returning as the voice. You can't go wrong.
No.
And I assume the other voice actors might even be the voices as well. I mean, the guy who played Arthur, what's he done?
Nothing.
Who knows?
I don't know.
And if they came knocking at the door saying, "Do you want to be in a video game?" I'd be like, "Yes."
What's a video game?
Yeah.
Sure.
Oh, those things.
Yeah,
Pong 2, is it?
I did see a lot. So something, I don't know, I work in this industry, and something must have happened yesterday, because everyone's losing their shit about all these different announcements. What happened yesterday?
There was 25 Disney announcements.
Oh, yeah, I heard about that. And then all the video game stuff?
Is there video game announcements? Oh, yeah, Jeff Keighley. The Game Awards and stuff like that.
Right, okay.
Jeff Keighley, you know that guy? He runs he is video games.
Okay.
He organises, the game. He is the Game Awards. That's his Game Awards, and he has a lot of. He is an influencer, but the other end of the scale, as in he is an actual video game.
Yep. Okay. Yeah, I play maybe 1 or 2 games a year, and I don't get overly excited about Maneater.
Do you reckon you'll play this?
Yeah, I'll definitely play this.
Co-op, we can do join up.
Yes, you guys could watch us play this game.
Eventually, when I get a PS5,
I will not be.
We can stream stuff easily. We can pop it up onto our YouTube thing.
How great would that be?
It would be great. I love playing video. This game is great. This game, awesome. We could bang on about this all day. I already told you a complete new video game idea.
I know.
My other video game idea which has been done, which is basically Ghost of Tsushima.
Yeah.
But mine was more of an online game where you get to choose what kind of samurai you play, and then you act that role out. So there might be, so you might choose to be a Ronin, you might choose to be, a shogunate guy that guards the emperor.
Yep.
But all the other samurais are other players, and you just went around and did your thing. You could go to town, helping out people from bandits and stuff like that. So that's kind of what Ghost of Tsushima was. I kind of wanted an open world samurai game, but I got it, and I've done it, and I've played it, and it's over, and I don't need it anymore.
There you go.
What else has been happening?
That's it.
That's it for the news.
That is it for news. We got super excited talking about Ash Williams.
Ash Williams. Let's do it. Let's go on to our spoiler cast. Yes, every week Jennifer and I set ourselves a horror movie to watch, and then we go through it scene by scene, spoiling the fuck out of it. It's a deep dive into glorious gore, hard edits, cheesy acting, and directing madness. Welcome to the spoiler cast. That's yeah. Anyhow, I apologise for that.
No, I loved it.
So we have a rating system. We created our own rating system because we don't think ABC 1, 2, 3 was good enough.
No.
So we've created our own rating system, which Jen will now go over.
It's true. Dan and I are kind of an organised chaos, so we can't follow the rules, but somehow we still need a little bit of rules.
I like that we say that, and our first thing is an A. An A and a B are the first two.
Shut up. So we've got A, which is awesome, everybody should watch. B is a beer and chicken wing group movie. F is for fun and dumb. C is a classic that's worth a watch. U is underrated. We've got the G, which is good for its time but is not held up. We've got the J, Jen Special, so if any of you know who I am and the films I like, you'll get it. D is Dan Special, same deal, but with Dan. We've got a W, which is whatever, so off my radar. And then we've got the Kesha, which is a low-budget hot mess. And the McConaughey, which is the fucking fucked. Don't watch it. Although, in saying that, we've talked so much about and joked so much about the McConaughey that Dion and his friend are planning a movie night to watch.
A McConaughey?
Yeah, to watch Texas Chainsaw Massacre. I'm like,
I've
wow.
noticed that people in our Facebook group have also started using a McConaughey as an adjective, like just saying like, "Oh, this film's so gonna be a McConaughey,"
McConaughey.
and
Look
stuff.
at us, we're influencers now.
No, we're not. We are the far end of the scale of that.
No,
Anyway, so the movie we watched this week was The Furies.
Yes.
From 2019. This was basically, well, to me, this was kind of, this was recommended by Underground Records.
Yeah, we were in there the other day and he was just playing it on the screen and was very engrossed in it. And we're like, nope, we're going to do this for an episode.
So
Let's stop watching.
Yeah.
So it is directed by Tony D'Aquino.
Yep.
Screenplay also by
Him.
Starring Arlie Dodds. This is a very small cast. I'd like to point out that this is an Australian film as well, which is fantastic. It had a budget of... what number have I got there? I'm having trouble with my eyes today, Dan.
Was that a budget of $1,500?
Yeah.
I mean, 1.5 million.
Yeah, 1.5 million. Sorry.
1,500?
Sorry, guys. I have left my glasses in the car, so things blur into one another at some point. I had a little bit of trouble finding information for this film, so I don't have any crazy
I've
cool
got my own
facts,
fun facts about this film because...
And I don't have a box office.
Tell me what the catch line is in the synopsis. Is there one?
There is, which I've forgotten to bring up because I'm a loser.
That's all right. So, should we just get into it, or are you going to get...
I'm doing it. I'm doing it right now. Look at me, super unorganized today. I apologize, guys.
We're all unorganized. I bought a house this week, so...
We're like literally how many weeks away from Christmas?
Mm.
It's killing me. I hate Christmas. Stay alive or die trying. A gripping female-driven horror film where a young woman faces her darkest fears with 7 other unwilling participants in a deadly game.
Yeah, I don't think this woman had this as a fear, hey? No one would have what happens to these people as a fear. Like, oh, I hope this doesn't happen to me, this very unlikely scenario.
Like irrational fears, yeah. A game that can only have one winner, the film burrows into universal themes of survival, revenge, and redemption and reveals the darkness lurking within all of us.
Yeah, sure.
Can I give it an easier fucking synopsis than that?
No, we'll go... Why? What do you reckon? Nah, you'll spoil.
Done. All right.
People haven't seen it, so let's get into it. So
Done.
it opens with intense suspense music. You know, that kind of like...
Yeah, very, very ominous.
Yeah, but like hard orchestra.
Yeah.
Just like, you know, fat orchestra, whatever. Dummy thick orchestra.
Nothing but cello.
Dummy thick orchestra. Nothing but cello. Yeah, that kind of stuff happening. And we're open to a kind of like a POV shot, point of view, if fellas don't know what that means, of the Australian outback with some heavy breathing.
Yeah.
So this is for Australian outback as well. This is like, I was looking at it going, because you know Australia has like the outback, but it has different looks of the outback.
Yeah, this is very white.
And straight away I was like, I know that kind of outback. And then we'll get into it later on.
And the galahs screeching. So straight away you've got...
So for crest cockatoos, please.
Sorry. Fucking birds.
Birds are great.
I hate birds. So you've got your ominous string music. You got the bush. You got fucking bird screeching. It's a hard soundtrack. It's setting a tone.
But straight away I realised it was very, it kind of washed out look. And I thought to myself, this must be shot on video. Now hearing the budget, I'm pretty much more sure. I didn't look into it to see if it was shot on video. And then it's had a thing called like maybe, inverted commas, a looks filter. So a looks filter is something that emulates a film look. There is a things called that lately filter. So like you can choose like your camera, your film stock and stuff like that. And I think they've done that. The reason I thought that is because it had a lot of like hard whites.
Yep.
And the whites looked like empty information video whites. So if you guys have ever shot video or film, so on video, white doesn't have any information in it. If you've got white in a video and you like, you know, turn up and down the exposure or anything, it just stays white because there's nothing in there. Where the reversed for film, black has no information on it. You can't get black to change.
Yep.
Where your whites you can change in film. So to me, it seemed like it was kind of like a video thing, which was fine. And as I said, it is a very low budget, and that's fine. Like, and that if this had been a high budget film and it had that look, I would have been like,
questions.
Yeah, and stuff like that. But that's fine. So that's my. I'm going to get away from the nerdism now.
We like it. We like it.
So then it cuts to a girl. The girl, obviously, whose point of view, it was running away through the outback. Was she dressed in a one-piece green,
Yes.
was
Yes,
it
she
one-piece
was.
or was it a shorts and top outfit?
No,
like,
it was one of those-
separated with a fat belt.
No, it was one of those one piece outfits. That
She really looked out of place. It's like
She does.
she's been dragged from a cocktail party.
no woman would be wearing that in the bush.
Yeah, so she has obviously been taken from somewhere, and I think that's what they
She's
went
trying
for.
to escape. Yep,
She jumps over a log straight into a compound fracture.
that's what I wrote. She trips, compound fracture. That's hard.
I think compound fractures are a great theme in our show. If we're going to make badges or pins, I want one that says McConaughey fucking fucked. And I want one that says compound fracture with a
Yes.
bone sticking out. Because so many of our films have compound fractures in them. So we're hard merch.
Yep,
Um,
brainstorming. So she's dragging herself along the bush. Gumnut leaves, all this stuff, and she hides up against a tree.
and this has only been like 2 minutes, and I've written straight into it.
Yeah.
Straight into it. Compound fracture, we've
yeah.
already got breathing. Honey, yeah. Like, it's all happening. I'm like, good.
Yep.
Good. I don't need to know much about anything in this film.
No.
Because I actually started watching it going, oh man, it's Australian. I hope there's not lengthy character introductions.
I don't want to know. I don't need to know. Just fucking kill some women.
Yeah.
That's
Anyhow,
bad.
this dude comes up. Suddenly we're introduced to a killer. Oops.
Uh-oh.
That was my phone just went off. With Anyway,
Yeah.
so this killer's come up. He kind of looks like a big burly man, and his face is all burnt, and he's got a sai. Is that how you say it?
He's got a scythe.
Or
yeah.
a sickle? No,
No,
sickle's
he's got
the
a
other.
scythe. The sickle's the
He's
other
got the Grim Reaper's weapon, basically.
Yep.
Yeah.
He's about to attack. And just as he's about to attack,
Another dude comes out of nowhere with basically a Homelander mask from The Boys.
yes,
He's got a wooden mask on, which is like a happy face, blonde hair, kind of like the Vault Boy from
it did
Fallout.
have a very Vault Boy vibe to
Is that
it.
his name, Vault Man? I can't remember.
Vault Boy, yeah.
Yeah.
It's creepy.
Yeah. So there's another mask. I'm like, what's going on? 2 killers? Another killer? Question mark in my voice. And then I'm like, man, this is an ad for Hard Yakka. Both these dudes were just wearing full Hard Yakka gear, and I'm just like, and there is so much Hard Yakka in this film. Like, as we go through, I'm going to mention all the Yakka moments.
Please
like,
do.
Basically, this film should have been sponsored by Hard Yakka.
It might have been.
It might have been.
We don't
That's
know.
true. So I think the dude has Hard Yakka pants versus the Hard Yakka overalls guy. So these 2 killers.
Yep.
What would usually be this? Are they killers, slayers? What would you call them?
Well, I know what we're meant to call them, but that's not been revealed yet.
No.
I would have just called them fucking Dead by Daylight guys.
Yeah, Dead by Daylight guys,
this
killers.
movie
Let's just call
is-
them killers.
Yeah.
Anyhow, I actually name every killer in this thing. So
Same.
Yeah. So straight away we're like, what are we dealing with here? This is obviously taking the genre of the killer. He's added another killer in it. So straight away we're like, oh, cool.
Yeah.
New vibe.
It's like killers battling it out to kill
Killers
the
killing.
lady.
Yeah, killers battling out to kill their preys.
Yeah.
I'm like, cool. Anyhow, Masked Man disembowels burn face. Mm-hmm. Like, his intestines come out. Yeah, he's holding his intestines. He's like, oh, yeah,
Oh, dear.
fuck. And then Masked Face picks up the girl. He's one.
Yep.
He picks her up. He doesn't kill her. He picks her up and walks off into the sunset with her. Mm-hmm. What's going on? Who the fuck knows?
We don't know.
Hard cut to credits.
Yep.
And I was like, good opening.
Yep. Cuts to like a computer monitor title sequence.
I'm going to call this isn't just a computer monitor title sequence. This is basically an Amstrad.
Yes.
So if everyone remembers the Amstrad, you've got your black screen, you've got your blues and your aquas or your teals colors, greens. They're the only colors, and it's like it's showing these graphics, and you're looking at like some sort of like scoreboard or like statistics.
Looks like a video game almost.
Kind of a video game, but not really.
Mm-hmm.
Very old school, which I've got to admit never comes up in the movie ever again, and everything is very technological based. So they've opened with this thing. So you're like, okay, so it's some sort of game. You get that straight away. It's not a secret. It's like some sort of game, organized thing. What's going on?
Yep.
Great. And straight away, that gave me Cabin in the Woods vibes.
Mm-hmm.
It's almost like unshamingly showing you there's something more to this than just a slasher. There's something behind the scenes, organizing shit.
Yep.
And I'm like, down. down, keep going. Now we cut to some character introduction.
Yes. So it's
And I was
two
like,
girls.
oh, fuck. So this scene is the worst acted scene in the entire film. Did you find it really bad? It's like the actors were learning to act as they went through the film. By the end, they were really good at acting.
Yeah, look, I honestly feel that this is probably like these kids, young women. These young women are probably
Folks.
like young folks are in probably the final year of their like acting degree.
Yeah.
Maybe. So they've just sort of managed to get themselves this film role, which kudos to them because there is a lot of...
But these are adults as well. They'll be in their late 20s, I would feel.
I'd say late 20s.
Yeah, late 20s.
Yeah, except, I mean, they're playing younger people because they have the conversation about going on to university.
No, aren't they in uni?
Are they graduating uni?
Yeah, I think they're graduating uni. Yeah, anyway, it doesn't matter.
Yeah.
We cut to Kayla and Maddie, and they're doing bad graffiti.
They're graffitiing.
They're graffitiing. In like the under the bridge aqueducty. I don't know what they're called, Anyhow, they're graffitiing. They're right. What did they write?
Fuck patriarchy.
Fake patriarchy.
Yeah.
So I was like, ugh. And then suddenly, bang, Australian accents.
Yes.
Hard Australian accents as well. So much Australian accents. Like, they weren't putting them on.
No.
But it was a side of Australia. Like, okay, this is like Melbourne.
Yes.
Side. But it just sounded like Party of Five. You remember that show?
Yes.
It was like that accent. Like,
Yeah.
oh yeah.
But you can always tell an Aussie accent in an American film or just any film. You can always just tell the Aussie accent, and
But
it's
this
so
is hard. This is hard.
It
Like,
is.
is it Western Australia? Is that like Victoria?
Yeah.
Victorian act. And I was like, oh man, it's Party of Five. Yeah, you can't do it. It's hard. Anyhow, then the girls have an argument I called it a high school level argument. This was pathetic. Like, this was like, and in their argument, they basically foreshadow Kayla's whole character progression in this argument.
Yeah.
It's like, what was it? You're not moving on, or
Yeah, she's like, I can't go off to university or can't graduate from university. I can't do these things because I have my condition. She's like, you fucking suffer from epilepsy, just grow a pair and just get on with your life, learn to live with it.
So you can obviously see that these are like lifelong friends, and they're having their
they've been
big
friends
their
since
big argument.
childhood, and this has kind of been festering for, like, she's resenting Maddie because Maddie's about to leave her behind to go off to university. Maddie's resenting Kayla because Kayla has been kind of holding her back all these years, and she's been protecting her all these years.
No, I think Kayla was going to university, and Maddie was lied to say she was going to university,
That's
and she
right.
bailed out on her.
Yeah, as soon as these women started whinging, I was kind of like...
But they basically foreshadow everything the characters have to grow and do in the film, they have in this argument.
Yes.
It was so obvious, it was so ham-fisted. And then all of a sudden, bang, they split up.
Yeah.
As in, fuck you, fuck you, fuck you, fuck you. And they go different ends of the tunnel. And for some reason, I actually noticed this, it didn't seem right. Kayla turns around for no reason and goes, Maddie, are you okay?
No, there was a sound.
There wasn't.
There was a sound.
Anyhow, and then it just basically turns into a hard kidnap scene.
Yeah.
It was just like, she sees Maddie getting kidnapped, and suddenly she gets kidnapped.
Yep.
Bang.
Both of them.
Cut to
Bam.
black.
Done.
And like, okay, done.
Yep.
We know what's going on with these characters. They've
been kidnapped. Yes. There's then this, like, weird surgery kind of montage. So we get these, like, flashes of this surgical room. Kayla obviously in a chair on a table. Her eye is bleeding.
It's filmed in a way like she's groggy. She doesn't know what's going on, so we don't. So you're getting in and out fade shots. That old chestnut.
Is it a dream? Is it a hallucination?
With like a hard sound over the top. Like a
Yeah.
That thing.
Yeah.
So shit's happened. Something's happened to her to do with a operating. We see scalpels with blood on them.
Mm-hmm.
Something's happened. Fade out.
Yep.
Fade out. Oh, what's happening? What's going on now?
All of a sudden, Kayla wakes up, and then this horrific, high-pitched alarm starts going
And we
off.
also assume that time has passed because her eye is healed up and stuff.
Yes.
So there's a bit of a bruise on there, but like we don't know how long it's been.
No.
Yeah. So yeah.
Nothing too bad, I'm assuming. I'm guessing, like, a couple of days.
Yeah, this high-pitched alarm goes off.
Yeah. Oh, it was horrible.
And she's like, ah! Like, it's so loud. But she's reacting in a way like, no one really... So it must be... So you assume, or I assume straight away, it's in her head.
Yes.
So she's actually got an alarm in her head going off, like a sonic alarm. And I figured they must have, like, installed some sort of alarm in her head. Like, I don't know. Maybe she just needed, like, one of those key things, like, to turn it off.
Yep. we sort of zoom out and find that she's trapped in a box.
She's in a wooden box, a black box.
Yep, she's in this black box.
With Beauty 6 written on the side of it.
I liked this sequence as well because so it zooms, you see her in this like darkness, and then it zooms out, shows her that she's in a box, and then it zooms out further.
In the outback.
In the outback. And then it zooms out even further to show that there is just absolutely fucking nothing for miles upon miles.
Yeah, it basically does an aerial Google Earth shot.
Yeah.
I reckon they used it.
So she is in the middle of nowhere.
It's quite a big area. You're looking at like, how many acres would that be? Like,
it's huge.
You're probably looking at like, probably like 5,000 acres or something like that. A massive area of scrublands.
Yeah.
Surrounded by not scrublands.
Yes.
Like just like kind of a...
desolate wasteland.
Yeah, stuff like that. And I thought it was a nice aerial zoom out shot. I could tell it, like, you could see the point where it kind of did change into Google Earth. Yeah, but it's a cheap film. They do it, and it looked fine.
Well, I like it because it gives you this very set in stone. They're in the middle of nowhere. She's fucked.
Yeah, it did set the scene.
There is nothing around. She's screwed.
She kicks the box open.
Yep.
And then she just starts running around the bush.
Yes, I
find
like
Maddie.
This. So there's so many times throughout my notes that I'm like, and she's off again. And she's off again. And she does. She's off in search of Maddie. She assumes that Maddie might be with her somewhere because they were obviously both taken at the same time. And
we've also noticed that the terrain is exactly the same terrain as the opening shot in the film.
Yeah.
So this is the same kind of area, we're assuming. She's running through the bush. She's like, oh, what the fuck? Maddie, where are you? Where are you, bitch? She doesn't know how long it's been, kind of thing. And then she comes across an old corpse.
Yes.
So you're like, ooh, I know this is an old corpse.
Yeah.
Like, this is, like, decomposed, like, nearly the skeleton, just with some flaky skin on it. So she's like, ooh, fuck, old corpse.
Yep.
And then she runs back to the box?
She doesn't yet.
No, she runs into two women.
She's grabbed by two girls, Alice and Sheena. Sheena is a punk rocker and an asshole. Let's just point that out straight away.
I liked her character, as in, like, I loved to hate her.
Yeah.
She was just like, oh my God, you're such a dickhead.
If I was in the bush with her, I probably would have punched her in the face.
She would have been, before she was kidnapped, an influencer. I reckon.
Or a meth addict.
No, I think she had a shit going on. I reckon she was just like, she just thought that she was the best. Mm-hmm. And it showed that. She many times she showed throughout the film that she was so selfish.
Yes.
Anyhow.
Yep. So then they start running.
So all three girls.
Yep. So they're together.
Kayla goes, oh, shit, my phone. So she runs back to the box, thinking her phone might be in the box that she came out of, which I did mention before has Beauty 6 written on it, which is quite important.
Yes.
And then the other girls follow her, and she looks around, and she's like, my phone's not in here. And they're like, they took everything. And like, who? And like, we don't know.
And as soon as they say that, she's like, starts fumbling around in her pockets, and she's like, my pills.
My medication. Where's me medication?
And then we have this quick flash to a different POV. It's a guy. Big.
No, she has like a fit.
Yeah.
So she goes to her knees
and she has a seizure.
Yeah, but it's not a seizure in. Everyone always assumes that seizures are people writhing around, frothing at the mouth. But some seizures are people just lock up.
Yes.
And she does that. So she has a thing where her eyes are open. She's basically passed out, blacked out.
Yeah.
But she's just frozen.
Mm-hmm.
And I have some friends who have epilepsy, and they kind of do the same kind of stuff. I don't know what they call it. But so she does that. She's just frozen, and while she's frozen,
then we get that POV
we
shot.
Get a POV of someone else.
Yeah.
Like, glitches up like it's video kind of thing, which I'm going to say, that was a bad video filter. That didn't look real.
Yeah, okay.
So we get the idea, and straight away it seemed obvious. She is, I got this straight away from not if you've ever seen the film, that she is, because of her epilepsy, because of her blackout, her camera shuts off and shows her another camera of a killer.
Yes.
So now she's looking through the view of a killer who we assume also have cameras in there. Right?
Yeah.
In their eye, or have cameras in their eyes.
Yeah. So we point out that it is a guy. It is you just see it's like holding an axe.
He's holding an
axe. That's it. And then so she comes to, and then
it's just Alice.
Alice is left. Sheena's fucked off.
Sheena's bailed.
She's on her way off to find help or do something. Or
she gives her the vibe straight away as being really untrusting for some reason. She's like, why why don't you want to stick together? Like,
Yeah.
what do you know? You know, and I kept asking myself, each character that came into this, I was like, have you been in this game before?
We will get to that. We will get to that.
Yeah, yeah.
Because I have thoughts.
Yeah, yeah. So Alice and Kayla, they define that they just start roaming through the bush together.
Yep. So they decided they're going to
They
go.
run into Dot and the kangaroo. No, they don't.
For Americans, Dot and the kangaroo. No. So yeah, they go off in search of Sheena. So
Yeah, they start looking out,
Yeah.
look for her, like, where'd she go? Oh, we better go find her, because what the fuck else are we going to do? We don't know what to do. And then
Yeah.
they come across another black box.
yes.
And this box has Beast 6 written on it. I'm like, okay.
Interesting.
Suddenly, while they're looking at the box, they see a dude walking in the distance, someone else.
Yep.
And they see he's wearing Hard Yakka. Mm-hmm. He's got a Hard Yakka.
I actually, there was a conversation that Alice had with Kayla before they ran across this box, in which Alice seemed just really suspicious, and she's talking about her family. Now, all of these families seem to be a little bit, like, not well-to-do. How everyone sort of speaks.
Well,
there's
everyone
all a
had
bit-
kind of been done something dodgy, it
Yes.
felt like.
Yeah.
But I don't know what Kayla... Was it the fact that they were writing "Eat Pussy" in the
Quite possibly.
in the graffiti? Was that enough for this organisation?
Yeah.
How good was my Clerks 2
I love
reference?
more of that, please. But Alice starts talking about on the farm that she lived on with her family. They go pigging, which means
Pig
that,
shooting.
Yeah,
Pigging?
pigging. Well, that's what she called it. It was pigging. So they go pig shooting. So basically, it's like all the pigs go running off, and so you stay in pairs because inevitably
No, two pigs always run in pairs.
Yes.
Because they know
Because-
one of them is going to be slower than...
Yeah.
They hope one of them's slower than them, so that's the one that gets taken out.
That's right. So she's implying to
Well, she was like,
Kayla-
why didn't you go with Sheena? And
Yeah.
she's like, yeah, she's implying, well, you seem slower than Sheena. Sheena must have been really fast, and that makes you the slow pig.
Yeah, so you stay with the slow pig.
So basically, yeah, so she's got a tactic.
So all of these girls so far are a little bit...
They're bloody turkeys. They're dickheads. We can get Australian on, because this is so ocker, this film.
yeah.
And yeah, they see...
So they're at the box, and then this guy comes out.
And he's got like a... Yeah, so we see his face? Yeah.
Yes, he looks very Dead by Daylight. Like, he is the epitome of the Dead by
Well,
Daylight.
he is also wearing...
Hard Yakka.
Hard Yakka. He looks like a tradie wearing a mask. He has the blue top underneath the Yakka overalls. They're all wearing, like, Colorado boots, like steel caps.
Yep.
They all look like they're doing work. Maybe they're just there to work. Maybe they're
They're like,
like,
"Hey, do you guys wanna
I've
make
just
an
come to
extra
build a
$50?"
box. Maybe they're the dudes that are building the boxes.
Look, mate, our budget's really low. What about we give you a case of EB, you guys rock up for a day in your tradie outfits, we'll just stick some masks on you, and you just do some heavy breathing for a bit.
Yeah, so I've called this guy Whole Face.
Yep.
Because his face is basically because we actually saw this face getting made in the first medical procedure.
Yeah.
So as in it is, was it skin?
I don't think it was skin.
It's something.
It is something.
It reminds me. It kind of gave me gross vibes of that. You know that whole phobia.
Yeah, people have whole phobias.
Which I don't think it's a real thing, but it reminded me of like. So if you imagine, it's kind of like he's wearing a lotus flower. You know those things with the holes in them.
Lotus chips.
Yeah, on the front of his face. So Whole Face, his name. And he's a killer, we assume.
Yeah.
And so they hide behind the box.
Yes.
Because he hasn't seen them yet. So they hide behind the Beast 6 box.
Yes.
And of course, Kayla has one of her pass outs.
Kayla.
She locks up. She's still hiding behind the box at least. And then, so do we see anything? She has like another view through the killer's eyes, which is Whole Face's view.
Yep.
So we see that Whole Face can see what's going on.
Yep.
Then Alice, she's like, "What's going on with her?" She runs off.
I love this. So she goes like running and screaming off into the distance.
She's like, "Fuck that shit!" I'm like,
Yeah.
"Good one, fast pig."
So she's like thrown a stick in one direction to distract him. There was a scream off in the distance, which also distracted him. And then she's just like, "Oh, I'm just gonna fucking run." And my notes are just like, get those knees up, girl.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah.
Just run fast because she's doing this really, like, it's almost as if she should have been wearing thongs. The way she was running through the bush was just so bad. I'm like, get them knees up,
As
you
if
gotta
one
go
of the
faster.
killers wasn't wearing thongs and like stubbies and a singlet.
Just carrying a beer?
Yeah, it would have been
That would've
amazing.
been better.
And our whole face takes chase.
Oh,
They're running through the bush. We get a bit of a scene of, like fast cuts of like bush chasing,
yep,
old bush chase.
yep.
And eventually, what happens? He eventually just catches up to her.
Yeah.
And he
gets
grabs her.
Grabs her by the neck.
Grabs her by the neck. He goes to
Slams
hit
her
her with
against a tree.
He's got an axe. We forgot to mention that.
Yeah.
He wields an axe. He wants to like go hit her with the axe, and she kind of like puts her hands up and stops the axe.
Mm-hmm.
So the axe is like right near her face, and they're doing the old struggle, like the test of power.
Yeah.
Test your might.
Now she's tiny.
Yeah.
She's a little puppet.
Yeah, she's like she's very short. Yeah, she looks like she's in bloody
Jersey Shore.
Yeah. or she's just come from like an aerobic workout, that kind of thing. She's in her leggings and her sweat jacket, what are they called? But yeah. So this is our first kill, basically, of the game. This is the best kill. Unfortunately, I feel this should have been closer, nearer to the end, because this kill is the best kill I have ever seen in so long.
Yeah.
To the point, it won Fangoria's best kill of that year.
Yeah.
Fangoria magazine.
Yeah.
You want to explain it?
Oh, okay. Let me get my cigarette. Okay.
Also, we have to say as well that Kayla is watching this whole thing through the killer's eye. So she is seeing this, and we're seeing this because she is kind of crying in a like. So we know that she's conscious when she's in her state because she's seeing. Yeah.
Yep. Okay. So he fucking Holy Axe Man. He got her up against the tree, and he just presses that axe blade right up to her face.
Basically, yeah, because they're fighting, so it's it's on the side of her face.
Yeah, keep it off of her, and he's trying to obviously push it into her.
But he's clearly stronger than her.
And he is stronger, my friend. But rather than just
chop into her like a traditional killer,
he's savoring this moment, and he is basically just slowly driving that axe further and further into her face, peeling her face off.
Yeah, so if you can imagine it, it's coming from it's not like coming down directly in front of it, it's coming from the side of her face. So it's basically...
It's like cutting a Christmas ham.
Yeah, it's like Face Off.
Yes.
As in Nicolas Cage and like things. So if you imagine Face Off, she's basically cutting slowly. This is what makes this kill so unique, is that he's just slowly pushing it through her face. This axe is very sharp. Because axes can be super sharp.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
This one didn't look sharp, but I know they can be super sharp. Because I've been to the Royal Adelaide show. I've seen the wood chopping.
I've been axe throwing. I know what's up.
Yeah, exactly.
So he's just pushing it through and pushing it. It's just getting deeper and deeper into her face now.
And there's like more and more prosthetics we're seeing. There's an angle we see from like, you can see all the muscle it peeling off. It's like, it's almost halfway through and suddenly... Zunk, it kind of lets go. It loses its resistance and slices off the front of her whole face.
Yep.
And we get a full camera shot of just an off face with all the blood pouring out, like the nose holes, the eye holes. The
couple of teeth are left. Most of them are
couple
gone.
of the back teeth, the wisdom teeth. She probably should have got them removed.
No wisdom.
Doesn't matter now.
So the nose cavity. Oh my god, it was beautiful.
Yeah, so this was like, and I've written here in capital letters, best effect I have seen in ages. Best practical effect. All practical, no CG.
Yep.
Oh.
I was just in all caps, axe to the fucking face.
Then I was like, okay, what other kills am I going to get if we got that level of like creativity? So we're, all right, whole face. What are we doing? Suddenly whole face hears a scream and he walks out of shot. And that's how they kind of end that.
And he's off.
And we assume that's Sheena screaming or some shit.
Someone's screaming.
Yeah.
And then Kayla wakes up and off she goes again.
Yeah.
She heads over towards Alice.
She starts running through the scrub again.
Yep. She don't want no scrub.
No. She's like, what? I don't want scrub. There's so much scrub here. I don't want no scrub.
Yeah.
That's what she starts saying. Anyhow, she runs out the scrub. She finds a clearing.
Yep.
She's like, oh, open area. This must be the edge of the scrub. And this is a big area. This is like, you can imagine almost like a salt plain, but or a dry desert. It's almost like a different terrain.
Yes.
It's weird.
It's a whole new world.
We can see in the distance there's like hills in the distance with like wind. What are they called? Those wind turbines, like
Yes.
power turbines.
Yep.
And so
There
she's
is nothing.
So she's like, fuck, I'll just run.
Yep.
And then she comes up to a whole bunch of poles in the ground. It's not a fence. It's just
No.
a pole, and each pole has like a circle on top.
Yep.
And when she gets close to it, suddenly that alarm sound starts going. Like,
Yep.
and the alarms, they're green, and then they go red. A la Fortress.
Yeah.
Do you remember Fortress?
Yes.
That old sci-fi movie? Exactly the same. That's how they kept the prisoners in. They had poles with lights on them.
Yep.
That, like, but they had necklaces on that exploded. So, so obviously this thing they put inside of her head makes her... It's so full on that it cripples her to the ground. Like, she can't run past these gates. So there is an area of play. And she crawls back. She crawls back and there's like a wagon there.
Yeah.
Like, so she kind of crawls back and leans against the wagon, and then the lights go back to green, as in you're out of range, so that's cool. And she's like, fuck, that was shit.
Yep. It's terrible.
But it is so Fortress. It's so Fortress. It's shameful. So she's like composes her shit together.
Yeah, she's hanging out, catching her breath. It's it's a really good image because it's just this nothingness. And then this little wagon with her there.
Yeah, I really liked it.
Like,
It was very,
that was nice.
It was very arty. It was
Yeah.
like, someone could do a watercolor that and it looked really nice.
I'd have that on my
your
wall.
house.
Yeah, in your new house, yeah.
Mm.
Yep, and
So
then all of a sudden, some girl.
We see some girl running towards her.
Yep.
Like from the thicket.
From the thicket. Yes, she's running.
This is a new girl as well. We don't know who
Yeah,
she
we
is.
don't know who she is. She's running, she's screaming, please help me, please. And then in
Who's
hot
behind her?
pursuit, Holy Axeman.
Whole face.
Whole face.
Or Holy
I'm going to
Axeman.
have to change it to whole face.
No, it's fine.
Whole
Whole face is chasing her.
Yep, and then throws the axe.
Axe throws,
Axe throws.
which you're an expert in.
Potentially, yes. Right into this new girl's back.
Now, I got to say, this wound was fatal.
Yes.
She should have died.
No one is getting up from an axe to the back.
To the spine as well?
no.
Anyhow,
No.
I felt like it should have, like, maybe just clonked her.
Yeah.
I reckon that would have been better if the back of it kind of just clonked her in the back of the head and knocked her down.
Yeah.
Because as much as this is a thrill and we like to see the damage of the victims, sounds a bit weird,
does.
I just felt like that axe wound was too much. Like, he should have killed her.
Yeah.
At least, like, crippled
An axe
her.
that big, potentially that sharp,
And crippled her.
Yeah, she would have been in the head on the stick.
Anyhow, we'll let that go. It is fun horror movie.
Yes.
So this drops her to her all fours.
Yep. And
I
then,
thought she was just going to be dead, but she was just fine.
Yeah. She drops down and Kayla notices that it's Whole Face from before and he just gives a little wave.
Yeah,
Just
whole
waves at
face
her.
instead of going to kill her, he
You're
just
like,
goes, hello.
Yeah.
He basically gives a neighbour wave to her. And weirdly enough, she gives one back.
Yes.
Because she is
Very
like,
odd.
she's so shocked. She's just like,
Hi.
hi?
Yep.
So he's like, and he gives his body language as well. It wasn't ominous. It was kind of
No.
like he's dropped his shoulders down. He's got a tilt of the head like the puppy dog, and he's like,
Yeah.
hello, hello.
Oh, come on.
And you're like,
Lord.
okay. So at this point, I was like, oh, okay. So she was Beauty number 6, and he is Beast number 6. So that
Yes.
must have been his box. So
Yeah.
Beauty and the Beast. And I was like,
Something's adding up now. He goes up to this new girl and pulls the axe out of her back when we get this lovely little bit of blood spurt.
yeah. And she's still on all fours. She's
Yeah.
like, making out she's a table.
And he's about ready to just kill her with the axe, and then Kayla's just like, please don't.
No. He was just about to lob her, and suddenly out of the scrub comes running another killer, and that's
Yeah.
what stopped him.
Oh, I thought she was like, please don't. And he gets distracted, and then something else comes out. I don't know.
It doesn't matter. Anyhow, a new killer runs
Yeah.
out of the thicket, the scrub, which I have named Leatherbody.
I called him Flesh Man, and he reminds me so much of the Devil's Rejects.
Oh, okay. So I called him Leatherbody because, like, as we all know, Leatherface
Yes.
is he wears someone's face. Like a thing. This guy is wearing someone's whole body, but he's wearing them like not over the front of him. So if you can imagine, like he is disemboweled a person,
Yes.
hollowed them out.
Yes.
So then the head, and then wears them like a onesie.
Yes.
So as in like over the front of him. So he's but the legs aren't actually. He's not in the legs. He's just tied the legs to his legs.
Yeah, it looks good.
This is the best killer thing. So I thought this was out of all the killers, I thought this guy was the most developed killer, as in like he had his own schnick, and his outfit was the best. Every killer after this I seem like the rest of them were kind of tack-ons to me.
Yeah.
Assuming that there are more killers. That spoiler. Anyhow, leather body's running up, and he is running for Kayla.
Yeah.
And then we see Wholeface go like, he looks at the situation. He sees leather body.
Yeah.
Looks at Kayla, and he's like, uh-oh.
Yeah.
Leather body's going for the girl I just made friends with.
Yes.
Waved at. And so...
he goes off.
So yeah, Wholeface and then leather body start fighting.
Yep. They start battling it out.
They start punching each other up and shit. And at this point I was like, oh, are they not allowed to kill each other, but they can stop each other? This is what I thought. I thought they might not be allowed to use their weapons.
Okay.
So they start because they're having a punch off.
Yeah, they are pretty much.
Like leather body, he's all like squealy, like Leatherface. Like,
yeah.
And so he's like, I was like, ooh, what else is going to happen in this film? So they're fighting, and that gives Kayla an opportunity. She grabs the new girl, which her name is Sally.
Yes.
And they bail.
Yeah.
So she picks her up, arm on shoulder because she's wounded with a fatal axe spinal injury that she's shrugging off.
And they head back. Now they want the scrub. They're going back.
They were like, oh, I want that scrub. A scrub is a thing that keeps me away from leather body. Leather body's gross.
Yes. At this point as well, like, Fleshman, aka Leather Body, he starts like sickling because he's got a sickle. Yeah,
so yeah, he gets the upper hand on Wholeface on top of him, starts sickling his body, and like
fucks him up
and kills him. We assume, but as I've written in my notes, that's not enough to kill a killer.
No,
I'm taking these killers as like Jason value. Mm-hmm. They're not as much.
Yeah,
so I was like, he's not dead.
No, he can't be dead. That's
a flesh wound.
We are talking about the first beast kill. That cannot be it.
Yeah,
no, thank you.
And especially because he's had such a main game. You know what I mean? He's clearly got an attachment. So he's kind of protecting Kayla, the main character. Anyway, I wasn't convinced.
Yeah.
Anyhow, Kayla, they run into the forest, and then Kayla does to Sally exactly what they did in the New Mutants.
Yes, that's the best thing.
Stuck her in a tree.
She hides her in a tree.
Puts her in a tree hole and says, "Here, wait here," because she's obviously very wounded.
Yes.
But then I thought what made it heat strange, she just covers her in sticks.
I like that. She's just like, oh, this twig will do. Oh, there's some leaves on this one. This is great camouflage. Oh, yeah. No one can see.
She's lucky there's no drop bears there, because they would have been attracted to those leaves and gone in there.
All that blood. All that blood and leaves. Drop bears.
Blood and leaves. Drop bears.
Coming around.
Which aren't real. By the way, people in America listening to this, drop bears are not real.
No.
Neither are snapdragons or hoop snakes. Do you know those ones? Hoop snakes are the snakes that bite their tail and roll down a hill after you. You've never heard of hoop snakes?
I've never heard of that. That's so fucking stupid.
How good is it, though?
That is great.
Could you imagine they made a low-budget movie called Hoop Snakes, and they're just like hoops for... Because all you'd have to do is just get a hoop and put a snake around it and then roll it down hills after people.
I'd like to think that we will make that film, despite my deep-seated fear of snakes.
And there's snapdragons as well, which are... Snapdragons are those flowers that look like things, and suppose you put your fingers in and they bite you.
Oh.
So they're the three with... Snapdragons, hoop snakes, and drop bears is what I grew up with.
Huh.
Hoop snakes. Because it wasn't enough that we have...
That is terrifying. That is a terrifying concept.
Hoop snakes?
Oh my god, no.
I'm going to say, it's not as if we didn't have enough animals that were heaps dangerous and like weird anyway. Like,
trying to kill us, yeah.
The amount of times I've been attacked by platypuses.
Yeah, those near-fatal platypus battles.
Anyhow.
Terrible. Anyway, Fleshman. He's in pursuit. He's onto it.
Oh, no, but first Kayla goes for help.
Oh, yeah,
She's like, wait here. I'm going to go for help. In inverted commas again. Help. What are you... Who? Where?
Who are you helping? What are you doing?
Your best thing you could have done is, just protected her.
Yeah, just stick around, mate.
But she did a New Mutants dad and went for help.
Yep.
And we know how well that works. You get eaten by a demon bear.
It doesn't.
So Leatherbody... so then it's like one, Kayla runs off, Next scene, Leatherbody just
Literally
comes straight in
seconds
and
later,
grabs her.
he's just like, I was just waiting for this girl to piss off so I can get to you. Hey, mate.
Well, it is the only place you could hide in the scrub because it's the only hollow
Hollowed out
tree.
tree.
All the rest of the trees are like, so they're like ghost gums, so they're really thin. Are they ghost gums? Don't
They
know.
look like them, yeah.
No, I think ghost gums are thicker. Doesn't matter.
Anyway.
Might have a bit of paper bark on them. More Australian stuff. So yeah, we Leatherbody
He
finds
drags her.
Sally and drags her out and puts her up against a tree, and I'm like, oh,
Yeah.
obviously Leatherbody is protecting Sally.
That's what
He kind of puts her up, and he strokes her head lovingly,
Yes.
as in like, oh, you're nice.
You're okay.
But then he goes behind her, grabs
Yep.
her arms, and rips her arms off.
Oh, yeah, it's
It didn't
weird
show
that
it.
It's weird that I get very excited by this. But he basically grabs her arms from behind the tree,
Puts his leg up.
puts his leg up for momentum, and then just starts pulling.
Yeah, so
You just get the screaming and this tearing and ripping.
this is why I liked Leatherbody's character. He
Yeah.
had this crazy streak through him that he was basically a psychopath.
Yeah.
Where all the other killers are just dudes that are working, it seems. They're
Yeah,
like,
quite possibly.
because he didn't want to wear yakka. He wanted to wear flesh.
That's right.
So I always thought, so he's crazy.
Yeah.
Because he could have just killed her easily, but he chose to rip her arms off. But before that was nice to her. As if it's like a mummy. He's like he was a crazy psychopath. So he was, where up until now, they've just seemed to be dudes in hard yakkas with masks on.
Yeah. Everyone else, so then we get a shot of Kayla. She's now, because she's off looking for help, she gets
She's
attacked.
running through the scrub.
She is. She gets attacked by Pigman.
So new killer. Pigface, I call
Oh.
him. Well, Pigman's fine. Pigman!
Bear
Like
Pigman.
Kramer, Pigman?
Yeah.
Pigman! So there's a guy with a wooden pig face. I really liked the wooden pig face. I thought it was very, very cool.
Yeah.
I actually commissioned one of my friends recently who was drawing Halloween people to do a pig face kid.
Oh, cool.
And he did that and it was very cool. I'll show you later.
Thank you.
Anyhow,
He kicks the shit out of her.
yeah, so Kate starts fighting him, trying to, but he's obviously, he knows pig foo.
Yeah.
So he beats her up. Pig foo is just bludgeoning someone
Yep.
with a squeal.
She ends up throat kicking him at one point as well.
Yeah, he's not very good.
No, and he kind of like stumbles back, and then all of a sudden this alarm.
So she gets a
goes-
knife. He has a knife. So he has a Bowie knife as his weapon. So it seems like every killer has a unique weapon. Like Leatherbody has a sickle, Wholeface has an axe, and Pigface had he had a Crocodile Dundee knife.
Yeah. He's out. He's ready.
That's not a knife. This is a knife. Yeah, she kicks him in the throat. He's like, "Oh," and that's when he drops the knife. She picks up the knife.
Yeah.
She's threatening him with the knife, and suddenly,
The
He's-
alarm.
kind of. It was kind of like a high pitched noise, kind of like when camera flashes are low,
Yeah.
like pew, and then Pigface's head explodes.
Yeah. Blood splatter.
We see that. It's kind of cool, and it's great because the mask is a really good out. Because you don't have to show an actual human face exploding.
Yes.
So I made it so it always looked real. And at this point, and I'm like, did Kayla make him explode? Or my theory was, if you get the bad guy's weapon, does their head explode? Because she grabbed the knife and then his head exploded.
Yeah.
Because they weren't outside the barriers. Because at first I thought, maybe he's outside the barriers and his head explodes. But no, they were deep in there in the
Yeah.
scrub. So I'm like, maybe if you get the weapon, the head explodes. Or maybe because she's been having these weird visions, she made his head explode with ESP.
With ESP. Okay.
ESPN. Kind of, because it's, it's TV-based power.
Right.
So that's what I got straight away. I thought, Anyhow, Kayla runs back to find Sally.
And she's off again. Yep.
She's off. She's like, fuck this shit.
Yep. So she runs back to Sally and finds that her arms are ripped completely
Were they
off.
in a little shanty shack when this happened?
No. We'll get to the shanty
Oh, no,
shack in
yeah,
a minute.
cool.
So her arms are completely ripped off, and
She's like, damn it.
by
she's
her side.
disarmed.
Is it wrong of me that was kind of hoping that she was still alive?
As in, like, so she's like, and
Yeah.
then dies there.
Yeah.
I must admit, it was like, I thought the arms ripped off. The arms ripped off looked good, but you could clearly see the front chest plate thing and stuff.
Yeah.
Like, it kind of like looked a little bit fake, but that's fine considering how real the axe one look. This is what I'm
Yeah.
like, did you put all your money into your axe? Because they didn't show the arms getting ripped off.
No.
You heard it, and then you saw the aftermath. And I'm always I want to see the actual arms getting ripped off. Like I said, like, I'm a massive fan of that. The first movie I saw it happen with Evil Dead, you actually see the axe hitting a limb.
Yeah.
I thought we could have seen like a close-up of the arm's flesh pulling off of the bone. Like, and that just would have made that so much more honey sweet.
Yes, please. But
Anyhow, now
And then-
Kayla has a machete.
Yep.
Ho, ho, ho.
And-
I've written
Nice. And then what? Guess what? Off she fucking goes again.
Yeah. So
She's
Kayla,
off.
now, cause, yeah, she picks up a machete. Why was the machete there?
I assumed it was just Pigman's machete.
Oh, yeah, Pigman had a machete, not a knife.
There you go.
I wrote knife instead of machete. That's right. So now, you got this idea. It shows her with the knife,
Yeah.
like, thing. And then Kayla rocks up. She's run through the bush. She comes up to basically, I said straight away, I went, is that Sovereign Hill?
Oh.
Do you remember that in the ACT? There's like a mining, like fake colonial mining town that you
Yes.
can go to.
I
But
just called it Camp Crystal Lake for the bush.
Oh, that's good as well.
Yeah.
So a whole bunch of shanty shacks. She's found corrugated iron, which is very Australian. Wood, corrugated iron, kind of gold rush era.
It's called Eureka Springs.
Yep, wait, yeah. So, and then she comes to, yeah. So then she goes into a shack. So she hides in one of these shacks. She goes in there because, like, why wouldn't you go into somewhere? It's better than being open in the bush.
Yes.
So she goes into one of these shacks, and she's waiting.
Yeah.
Do we see the sign yet? Yeah, so do we see
Yeah.
her say Eureka Springs?
Yeah.
So the Eureka Stockade was like, you know, the Eureka Stockade was a traditional Australian war battleground thing. I've been there. I've been to this place that they were at.
Oh, fantastic.
Because it's part of like, yeah, I've been to Sovereign Hill, the Eureka Stockade, to all these weird little, if it was the actual one, whether they just used it. So this is a massive Australian. This is just out of Ballarat, all this stuff. So this is like, yeah, this is deep Victoria. This is Chotty. So I was like, yep, it is Victoria. They're right near Ballarat. So I was like all stoked with myself because I'd been there. So yeah, she's waiting in this house and she's looking around, you know, out the window. What's out there? What's out there? What's out there? Suddenly we see someone's behind her, like behind Kayla,
And
like a shadowy figure.
Yeah, and startles her.
And startles her. She turns around with the machete, gonna smash this killer in the face and whack. And oh fuck, it's another girl.
She has fucking macheted
A new girl.
some girl in the neck.
So she's macheted this girl in the neck. The girl pulls the knife out.
She's like, don't pull it out, don't pull it out. And she's like, I'm gonna pull it out. And she just fucking pulls it out.
Yeah, as this happens,
Two other
Sheena,
girls.
the girl that ran off before, runs in with another new girl
Yes.
and sees her basically that she has killed this other girl.
Yes.
And I'm like, oh, they didn't trust each other now.
Oh, they certainly not.
And
gonna
she's
do it
like,
now.
I didn't mean to. It was an accident.
Yes. The other new girl with Sheena is called Rose.
Rose. She's
Yes.
like a little Asian girl.
Yeah, she's kind of adorable.
She's very short and small.
Yeah.
Kayla, in all this frustration, she has another fit and passes out. She locks up again.
Yep.
And
Yeah.
then we see some more some shots from another killer's
Yeah,
POV.
she kind of like cripples up. Sorry, not cripples up, but like seizes up.
Crumples up. She goes to her
crumples.
knees every
Yeah,
time.
and she's like, please stay with me. Meanwhile, she's on the floor. She's locked up. Sheena grabs the machete, fucks off, and
Sheena
leaves.
bails again.
Fucking
Yeah, so Sheena grabs it, sees an opportunity. She wants to be big man on campus or big girl on campus. She grabs the machete. Now she has a machete. Ho,
Yeah.
ho, ho.
Ho, ho, ho. Leaves Rose with Kayla. And then, yeah, we get that POV shot of Maddie hiding.
So
being
Kayla
hidden.
vibes into just another random killer's point of view. And we
Yeah.
see that this killer is hiding Maddie from the start. So up to this point, we didn't know if Maddie was even in the game.
Yeah.
She is in the game. She is hidden in a little makeshift hut next to a mine shaft.
Yeah, it's a little blanket fort.
So she sees like some clues in the vision of like where she is.
Yep, she's near Eureka Mines.
The Eureka mine shaft. She's like, okay, cool, I know. Anyhow, Kayla wakes up and Rose is just sitting in the room.
Having a bit of a cry to herself.
Yeah, she's just like, oh, they go.
She's like, I stayed. We're friends now, right?
Yeah, so Rose, straight away you get vibes of being an idiot. She mentioned straight away she was homeschooled by a mum who thought she was smarter than she was. She's basically a simpleton.
I have many a Rose theory
my theory straight away is that
opinions.
because she kept like kind of glitching,
Yeah.
I think she is a survivor from another game.
That's exactly what I said.
Well, straight away, I thought she is the winner of Battle Royale.
Yeah.
Do you remember the girl at the start of Battle
Yes.
Royale? In the opening thing where it cuts to the winner, and it's a little tiny Asian girl holding a knife covered in blood.
Ah!
And I'm like, it's her growing up.
Oh.
She's just been doing kill games her whole life.
Because at very first I was like, oh, she's precious, she's cute, oh, she's just like, she's been homeschooled, she's got no friends, she's a little bit socially
I got
awkward.
glitches from her
and then
straight
I'm
away.
like, this fucking bitch is like, she's in on this.
I thought she was playing dumb as well. I thought she
Yes.
was like,
100%.
yeah, but no, I think she's got, inverted commas, split personality.
Mm-hmm.
That she's got a little dumb girl version, and then she's got a sadistic killer side.
Yeah.
Because she suddenly would, like, talk normally and really, like,
Yeah.
really weirdly,
She'd
and
be
then go
like-
back to being,
Yeah, she'd
you'll
kind
be
of
my
like,
friend, won't you?
well, like, we were friends. We were friends. You fucked it.
Yeah.
Okay, calm down.
Yeah. So she's glitched.
Yeah.
So she's Battle Royale, I called her.
Mm-hmm.
So then they're having a back and forward for a while, you know, about like, you're my friend, aren't you? Friends stick together. And like, so we got Kayla's like, oh, fuck, this girl is a bit glitched, but it's probably better to have her on her side, so I'll make out to be her friend.
Yeah. She's now the slow pig.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Poor Rose's slow pig. No, Kayla definitely wants to get no one get hurt.
Well, yeah.
That's what she's trying to do. She's trying to make sure everyone is good, but everyone keeps dying around her because she's trying to help people. So we've got the dead girl on the ground.
Mm-hmm.
Suddenly she gets a brainwave of like, how does she work this out?
Well, she's explaining about her seizures. So she's explaining to Rose about her seizures.
And
She's like, this is what I've been seeing. She's like, oh, yeah, no, my cousin has epilepsy.
Yeah, Rose said that, yeah.
She has hallucinations while she has seizures. She's like, this is completely different. This is not this.
This is not hallucination.
She's like, this is something that I'm
something to do with the surgery. Because she goes, do you remember the
Yeah.
surgery? And she goes, yeah, I do. So she's like, so the surgery happened to us all. So she's deducting, like, okay, so we've all had surgery, something with our eye. I'm seeing things through other people's eyes. Hang on.
Yeah.
We've got a corpse there.
Oh, convenient.
And I've got this spoon.
That I found on the floor.
So we get this amazing shot, a full shot as well, of her spooning this girl's eye out. Like every moment, it's like a full static shot, never cuts away,
No.
of just like you spooning out this person's eyeball. And I was just like, "Bleh."
It was, yeah.
And
I
Rose
had,
is like, what are you doing? And I thought at some point she should have said what she was doing. Like, why leave it ambiguous what
Yeah.
you're doing?
Yeah, I mean, I guess she's just like in this panic state. She can't be dealing with answering
Yeah.
questions.
So she spoons the eye out, pulls it out, and it's got a whole bunch of like lit up fiber optic cables attached to it and stuff, showing that it's obviously got some sort of transmitter in it. So so they're crazy, you know, tin hat foil theory is true.
Yes, and then there's like this brief flash to retinal cam transmission.
Yes.
In this big room with TV monitors.
I have to set the scene. It's a black room.
Go on, paint me a word picture.
It's a dark room, right?
Yep.
It's a black room. We pan out and we see a TV screen, which has like it's split into two halves. So the top half is one view, the bottom half is another view. This one screen says Beast 1 and then Beast Beauty 2. Mm-hmm. So they're linked together, these two things.
Yep.
So, and then it pans back and we see 6 screens. So you're like, okay, there are 6 players. Mm-hmm. Then I thought to myself, how many people have been in it so far? I couldn't remember. I was like, how many people have we even seen?
Yeah.
Don't know. And we see a man, it pans back, we don't see a face or anything. We see a man sitting at a small desk watching these screens. So and I'm like, ooh, is that the guy from Half-Life 2 that runs like everything? You know, the smoking man from the X-Files? Yep. So we're like, shady organization. Like, you know, corporate, shady, running the world, Umbrella Academy vibes happening here. And obviously you're like, they're in a game. They're in some sort of reality thing. Why are they doing it? Must be for... Because, you know, once you're rich, the only thing that gets you off is killing. Or some shit. Anyhow, that's that whole thing. I painted that picture. Sorry.
That was a pretty good picture.
Thanks.
Yep. So we go from that to a very nice shot of the wilderness. definitely shows that Australia is such a beautiful place to be.
This is Australia. That's what I got. They should have been playing songs like
Where
that.
the bloody hell are you?
Yeah.
And then we have a new killer. I just called him Woody. Comes strolling up with a knife.
Woody?
Yeah.
He was babyface. He was
He had this little cherub face, but it was made out of wood.
yeah, but they're all wood masks.
Yeah.
Oh, most of them.
But I called him Woody.
I thought it was like a giant baby face. I thought it was like the
Happy Death Day.
Happy Death Day face carved in wood vibe.
Yeah.
That's
okay,
what I got from it. Like,
What
as
did
it
you
was
call him?
homaging Happy Death Day.
Yeah. What did you call him?
I called him Babyface.
Okay. Old mate Babyface.
Yeah, so then we cut to Babyface and he has the Crocodile Dundee knife.
Yes.
That's his weapon.
Yep.
So for those who don't know what Crocodile Dundee knife is, it's basically a Bowie knife.
Yeah.
Australian style though. They used to be called survival knives. I've got one still that I had as a kid. Basically upside down, the knife in the handle has a compass.
Yes.
And you unscrew the compass and in it is fishing line, matches, so to survive. And I've got one. I've still got my survival knife.
I think we've got like 3 in our house currently. I don't know.
You can survive 3 times as much as I can. Anyhow, so then Sheena just suddenly rocks back up.
Yeah,
Because I think she was getting stalked by Babyface.
Yes.
So she has led Babyface to them.
Yes.
Sheena rocks up into the shack and she's like, what's going on here? Why is that girl's eye out now?
Yeah. So she's like, there's 2 more of them out there.
But straight away, Rose turned on
Yes.
Kayla. Because she did it.
She did
it as like a little kid. Like, as in,
Yes.
you're like, oh, you're a simpleton and I hate you.
And now they're all together, which means it's time for a plan. And that plan is to hide.
Yeah, well, Kayla first shows Sheena the eye cameras to show that, like, we're in some sort of game. Someone is watching us. So, Sheena doesn't really fucking care.
No.
She just wants to survive. And, yeah, she does. And so everyone hides in the house. Because then also, Leatherbody comes up.
Yes, Fleshman is back.
So Babyface doesn't actually attack them.
No.
At this.
No.
He just walks
He's
off.
kind of just like...
Well, later on we see his true nature.
Yeah.
He does a Texas Chainsaw Massacre thing in it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Anyhow, everyone's hides because they see Leatherbody. He's outside.
Yep.
Looking around. So like, fuck, we better hide. So they hide in the shack.
And he's menacing because all of these other killers are kind of like hiding and watching, whereas he's just like, he's got his sickle, he's dragging it across that corrugated iron, across the window, making screeching sounds.
Yeah,
he knows they're in there.
He knows they're in there. He's basically tormenting
He's just
them.
fucking with them.
Yeah, and he's dragging. So he's just like, you know.
Yeah.
He's like, I'm coming in, I'm coming in. You know, he is crazy.
Yeah.
Which, at this point, I would like to say what I got from it is like him and Wholeface are the only killers that had any personality and any effort put into them.
Yeah.
From then on, I think like the rest of the killers were just men wearing masks. And like where, you know, Leatherbody had the Leatherbody of his vibe. Wholeface had like the whole thing of him being nice kind of thing.
Yeah.
So, yeah, and I thought they kind of that was my criticism. They dropped the game on the other killers. They could have like none of them had any backstory. Like it felt like you learned Leatherbody's backstory just by seeing him. You know he's a crazy.
Yeah.
You know he enjoys it. You know, like if he got the opportunity, he'd be back in the game. Like so, he probably goes and kills people when he's not in the game. He is
Probably.
a psychopath.
Yeah. That's why he's in the game.
Yeah.
So he comes in. He makes his way into this little shack.
So they're still hiding under like desks and shit.
Yeah. And he's looking around, just poking at things.
Doing a suspense shot, everyone hiding, holding their breath, like, well, he walks around. He's looking around.
And then he grabs Rose. Ah!
He grabs Rose.
And Sheena and Kayla attack him.
But he grabs Rose and doesn't kill her.
No.
He kind of tries to, like, look at her. She's like flashing her arms around.
He's trying to get a look of her face.
Yeah, so you're like, oh, okay. So he doesn't know who his number is, who his beauty is. So
Yeah.
he's trying to find out he knows what they look like, but he is so crazy and so he can't probably remember who it is. But he's like, oh, God, is that the person I'm not supposed to kill or protect?
He's like, I'm just here to kill everyone, but wait, I can't. Yeah, okay, no, it's okay. So Sheena and Kayla attack him.
They basically gang up on him.
Yeah.
They do pretty good.
They work together.
They work together and they kind of kick and punch and
Way to go, girls.
yeah. And they kind of beat him, don't they?
Yeah, they basically just like push him out of the door and shut the door.
Yeah, they lock him out.
They lock him out. And
I felt like he should have just smashed.
yeah, and
through.
then he's like, all right, and he goes. He
Yeah, he's just like,
disappears.
well, that's enough of that.
Yeah.
Yeah, so he kind of bails after getting locked out of the house, which I was like, oh, okay, fair enough. But then again, he is crazy. Maybe he's like, I want to better up. I fucked that up. I'm gonna go away, come back again, and do a better, scarier one.
Yeah.
Or something
I'm
like
gonna
that.
be
But he might be
bigger
all about
and
the.
better.
He might be all about the stalk and the fact that they fucked him over. His game up. He might be like, no, that's not satisfying.
Yeah.
I'm gonna go do something better.
Then we get the reveal of the Beauty and the Beast.
Oh yeah. So what was that?
So basically, is I can't remember who's saying it. It could be Rose. I'm guessing it's Rose. She seems crazy enough to be talking about that.
Yeah, they basically have a huddle. They have a
huddle, and she's talking about they've paired them up. They've caged them in. So it's Beauty and the Beast. So every killer has a girl.
Every killer has a protector.
Yeah.
Which is one of the killers.
Yes.
And if that girl gets killed, the killer's head explodes.
Yes.
So we can assume that when Pigface's head exploded,
It was because
one
Sally...
of the other killers had killed his girl.
Yeah.
So there's a lot of risk involved in the killers in this. So they have to kill everyone's girl before the other killers.
Yes.
So they can survive.
Yeah.
So straight away he puts this new kind of good element to it. You're like, okay, so it's not just the killers killing. They need to kill the girls for them to keep to live.
Yeah.
But what they didn't mention in the whole film is that if you kill a killer, I thought if you killed the killer, then the girl's head exploded, but that's not the case.
No.
So you can kill off the killers, and they don't. That you're fine. Like, you can as the beauties, you can kill whatever killers you want without any consequences.
Yeah.
But they do bring up a thing here where Sheena turns around and says, "But it's heaps easier." So that means if one of you girls die, one of the killers die, and it's heaps easier to kill you than it is to kill one of them.
Yes.
So then you're like, oh, here we go.
She's gearing up. She's
here's
starting
the
to get
battle
all
royale-ness.
Yeah, she's turning on them. She wasn't really with them to begin with. She kind of turned on them the moment she met them.
Yeah, she fucking dogged them.
So she's just being absolutely paranoid. She's like, we've got no chance against these guys, but I've got a pretty good fucking chance against
you. Yeah. So if I kill all you, I kill all the bad guys. So, and then I win.
Yeah.
And it's all about winning. She starts to go crazy about.
Yeah.
She wants to be number one. She wants to be the influencer. So basically Tina turns on both Kayla and Rose, and then she
And then because that's when
then Kayla and Rose bail from the shack and leave Sheena in the shack. They're like, "Fuck you! You're a dickhead."
Yeah.
So Kayla and Rose run away from Sheena, leaving her in the shack.
Mm-hmm. So at this point, Woody is spying on them. So Babyface is spying on them from another cabin, and then Fleshman is watching this all happen from a distance.
Yeah. So Leatherbody sees them running around. He's like, "Oh, there they kind of are." And Babyface is just stalking them. Babyface hasn't really done a move.
No.
And he's not very bold. He's kind of keeping back to himself. And he's like, So he watches. He sees Rose and Kayla go hide in another shack.
Yeah.
So they go and do another one because there's about 8 of these little shanty shacks.
Yeah, they're all lined up.
And then they make a plan. Rose and Kayla. Their plan is they're going to go look at the sign at the Eureka Stockade place that she saw earlier and then go see where the mine shaft is on it, and they're going to go save Maddie.
Yes.
But then Rose is all like, "But I'm your friend.
Yeah,
you
she's
don't need
like,
Maddie."
"You don't need another friend." Like,
so
you
she's
have
like
me.
the crazy single white female.
Well, all right.
Rose has all the problems.
Okay, girl.
But like, no, we should friends stick together, don't they? So we have to go find Maddie because we all have to stick together.
Mm-hmm.
And then and so they're like, and then they see some killers roaming around and like, well, we can't go out the front door. Let's dig under the back of the shack. It's just loose sand, and we'll crawl out the back.
Yeah.
And then we'll go around the back of the shacks and get to the sign and avoid everyone.
Yes.
Yeah. Anyhow, they do that, and of course, Rose gets stuck in wire halfway out the shack. So her legs are stuck in the shack, and her body's, dangling out the front. I'm like, Rose, you're an idiot.
Oh, Rose.
Just as Leatherbody comes in.
Mm-hmm.
Now, at this point, Leatherbody still hasn't seen Rose's face.
No.
So he can only see her legs. So he starts grabbing her legs to pull her in to see if he can kill her.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, we got bloody Kayla on the other side grabbing Rose's arms and they're having a tug of war with her.
Yeah, it's glorious. And then old mate Woody, he comes from out of the woodwork.
Babyface Woody.
Babyface Woody. He comes in.
Because he sees an opportunity.
Yeah.
He's a cowardly killer.
Yeah.
He doesn't want to have to fight anyone or have any problems. He wants to basically stalk them from the back and stab them in the back. So.
Yeah, that's fair. He's in a game. It's, you got to do what you got to do. So he comes in and...
Yeah, he's walking closer and closer to Kayla and she's like, she can see him.
Yeah.
And but she can't let go of Rose because she'll get pulled out. And then she goes to Rose, cover your face. Because they've worked out that they have to work out who's who. So she's like, cover your face. So Rose covers her face and gets pulled under with Leatherbody. And Leatherbody's kind of like still trying to, who the fuck are you?
Yeah.
Are you my lady?
At what point so Rose cuts Fleshman's fingers off.
Yeah, this is that point.
Yeah, she cuts his fingers off with his sickle.
She kind of has a kick and fit at him and knocks his sickle out of his hands, grabs his sickle and cuts all of his fingers off. Yeah. I think it's just the front four. So he's just got like a thumb and a stump now.
Yeah.
And he's like...
Bloody thumpy.
He's pigging out.
Yep.
Pig squealing. Which is a good vibe for Rose. It's been a while since there's been some violence, so that's cool.
Yes.
So yeah, they're still kind of in there. Then Kayla runs. Then Kayla comes. She runs around because she just runs away from Babyface, and he doesn't even pursue because he's a coward. She runs around to the front of the shack, comes up behind Leatherbody, and attacks him in the weakest. Basically, just fucking critical fails.
Yes.
She rolled a 1 on that attack. He just turns around and grabs her by the throat. I'm like, well, great plan there, lady.
Yes. So at this point, I'm like, what the fuck is happening? At one point, so he's got. Is it her that he's got, and he's shoving his like weird?
Yeah, basically now
hand?
he's grabbed Kayla by the neck. He's holding her up against a post in the house. And sadistically, because he likes to torture people, he jams his bloody stump hand into her mouth, which is gushing blood out of each finger hole, and is forcing her to drink like gallons of it. Like, it's spurting out.
Yeah.
Forces his fist hole stump into her mouth just to torture her, which is gross.
It is gross, but also she's probably pretty dehydrated, and that is, despite it being gross, is probably very helpful for her.
Yeah, it's probably a lot of iron, a lot of liquid. There's like 90%, isn't it 90% water blood?
Yeah, something like that.
Anyhow, makes his jump from his hand stump, and then Rose comes up behind Leatherbody and hits him with the sickle.
No,
the axe?
She gets him with because he gets impaled.
Oh, no, it's like a weird corkscrew.
Yeah, but a giant one.
I think it's a hole digger.
Yes, it is.
No, or it's a giant, it's a drill. It's some sort of gigantic corkscrew, which is an old Australian bit of work stuff. I think it's from gold mining. It's like a gold mining. And so she donks him or stabs him with that, and that makes him drop Kayla. And then he falls to the ground, and then Kayla comes up with the big fucking corkscrew and basically
impales him and screws him into the ground.
Yeah. Is that the last we see of him?
I believe that is the last we see of him.
Which I thought was the most boring kill.
I know. For someone so prominent and sadistic throughout this, I feel that he
and the one with the one that has like the only kind of character development as a killer.
He needed something bigger and better.
We needed like him to. I reckon. Why didn't she just screw him to the ground and then chop his head off or something? You know what I mean? Like, yeah, I thought that was a weak kill.
Yeah.
Anyhow. Oh, yeah, and then this is probably the best moment. As she's just fucking corkscrewed him on the ground. It's hard. She's like, fuck it. Babyface, like, bursts open the door thinking he's going to be, like, the killer. She looks around at him and just yells at him, come on, then! She's covered in blood. He flinches and like, cowardly and runs away. Basically, as I said, like they did that in Texas Chainsaw Massacre, where he gets scared by the victim.
Yes,
I think that is a homage to that very famous scene. But and at that point, you're like, fucking Babyface. Babyface is hopeless at being a killer, which is good. That gives him a little bit of thing, but he is such a boring character.
He is.
He's just like, and there's nothing sadistic about him. There's nothing. He's just wearing hard yakkers and he's got this wooden face mask. So you just assume he is the most unkiller of all the killers.
Yep.
Anyway, he cowards away, and then he just basically offering the babyface goes fuck that and bails. He gets scared. It's so funny. That's actually a great moment in the film. Her come on then was so good. I rewound it and watched her say it again.
It's now your ringtone.
Come on there. Like she's done. She's at snap point. And which makes sense from
because she's got like Rose. Rose is being like this like drag on her. Like Rose is like, but we're friends, you're protecting me, we're staying together, like what are you doing? And she's just like, yeah, sure, come on, pig, that'll do, pig. It's fine. So at this point
so they run up and they run out to the sign and they see that now Sheena has come up to the sign on her own fruition.
Yeah. Because
she is now trying to take out the girls.
Yes.
Because she's basically become a killer.
Yeah.
Because she says things like this. So she is looking at the sign to find out where Maddie is because she's going to go kill Maddie. So that takes out another killer and one off of the game and she wants to be the winner. So Kayla confronts her. Like, you fucking dickhead, don't go kill my friend.
And then Rose calls cheating. She's like, you're cheating. You can't do that.
What, who? Yeah, Rose, like, that's when she goes, you're like, hang on, how do you even know the rules?
Yeah.
So Rose is like, oh, so this is when I thought straight away, this is when I was like, she's Battle Royale.
Yeah.
She's the winner of a previous game and she's acting dumb. That's her schnick.
Yeah, for sure.
But, and then what? So Kayla confronts her, and then Rose.
Wait, I think this confrontation happened a little bit earlier because Rose is still in the shed. Kayla spies Sheena on the run, so she's running, and then there's like some weird Kayla and Sheena catch up, and Sheena has this fucking monologue, and she's going on about whatever.
That's at the sign.
Yeah. But because Woody grabs Rose at this point, knifes her hand to the wall.
No, yeah, Woody comes up and grabs Rose from behind because Rose is standing quite far away, still like keeping the distance, and Kayla doesn't notice that. So Woody babyface comes up and grabs her muffles her mouth, and takes her into one of the sheds and stabs her hand up onto the wall. And I'm like, oh, okay, does that mean that, like, that's his girl?
Yeah.
Because he didn't kill her. He incapacitated her so she couldn't move.
Yeah. I'm
like, okay, so maybe Babyface is protecting Rose. We don't know.
Quite possibly.
And it cuts back to, fucking...
Kayla and Sheena.
Kayla and Sheena having the argument at the sign, going like... And then we realise that, fucking Sheena is a piece of shit. And then Kayla's like, you can do this? You're going to attack me? You're going to kill us all? Meanwhile, we see in the background, we see the return of Wholeface. He is behind Sheena. Sheena doesn't know he's there. And Kayla doesn't say anything on purpose. She's like, you know what? Fuck you.
Yeah.
If you're going to try and kill us all, I'm going to let Wholeface. So she basically bluffs and says like, keeps her occupied and says some stuff. Wholeface comes up, and what does he do to Sheena from behind her with his axe?
He fucking axes her through her head.
He basically splits her head.
Yeah, she has a splitting headache.
Oh, yeah. Basically, from the top of her head to her neck, it gets split straight in half. We see all the gore. It's a practical effect. I thought maybe the cut was a bit too clean.
Yeah.
And funny.
I'm assuming that this axe is super duper sharp.
We can only assume
that's what I'm assuming.
It's made of adamantium or something.
It's fine.
It's maybe a Jedi kind of thing. It's got the crystal in it. What are they called? The
dilithium crystal?
No,
that's Star Trek. My follow-up comment to that was, take that, Sheena, you dumb bitch.
I wrote another amazing gore kill because it was wicked. It was like, so this is their next shining moment in the film of kills. I was like, sick.
Yeah.
Like, amazing. Then, as soon as Sheena is killed, we hear like Babyface is there with Rose. We hear like the little camera loading sound and his head explodes.
Yep.
So he should have just killed Rose then.
Yes.
But he didn't for some reason because he's
No.
just a pussy.
I have a feeling that he would have just let Sheena go around killing people, and he kind of would have just kind of stayed in the background and only come out to protect her if it seemed like she was in danger, because that meant he was in danger.
So you think he's Fortnite camping?
I think he's what? Yeah.
He's also like hiding, waiting for everyone else to kill each other off. But it's too much of a risk.
Yes.
He needed to protect Sheena.
Yeah.
Because Sheena was all about, my man's going to protect... Because she did... Remember she did the maths at one stage?
Yes.
In that conversation, she goes like, if we stick together... She goes, no, there's three killers after us all. One of them is my protector. So there's only 2 killers after us all. And if I kill you, there's only 1 killer after... Or if I kill Maddie, there's only... No, there was 4. So she went... And she goes, yeah, and if I kill Maddie, there's only 2 killers with the odds, and I'm going to win. I'm going to win! And then basically she's yelling her win count, and that's when whole face splitting headaches her.
Yep.
Love it. So at this point, I was like, yeah.
Yes.
I still thought there was more layers to peel off this film, but I actually think there's no more secrets to this film now. Once you work out the game, there's no more layers to peel off, and I think that was its weakest point.
Yep.
I thought there was going to be another cabin in the woods. I thought the very ending was going to have some sort of, like, oh, no, what we were thinking is wrong.
But no. Which is fine. I'm okay with that. It doesn't need to be, like, layers upon layers. And then Kayla, there's this moment between them, like, she's...
Yeah, like, whole face says, hey, how you going? Again, like, as in, like...
I'm back. I didn't die. I'm here to help. And then Kayla fucking axes him in the chest.
Yeah, so she kills her protector.
Yeah.
Well, she doesn't want anyone trying to kill Maddie.
Yes.
So,
she's all about Maddie.
Yeah, so she doesn't care if that guy's protecting her. She just wants to, like, save her friend.
Yeah.
Her relationship with how much she loved her friend was very, LGBT. Did you get that? Were they supposed to be?
Very...
Like, she loved her way too much, I thought.
Yeah.
Anyway, we'll get into
And I feel that if the roles were reversed, it probably would be a very different film.
In my chronological notes here, watching the film, I've written, I feel Wholeface will be back.
Yeah.
Because once again, not a very dramatic... None of the killers had interesting deaths, apart from the head exploding.
Yeah. And even then, it was just like a pew, done.
And then we got through... So this is all happening. She just axed him. And then we get a shot of seeing, up on the hill, Owlman's watching them. So is he the last killer? Yeah.
He's the last killer, yeah.
He's the last killer, so Owlman. So he is a man in overalls, he has a pitchfork, and he has a wooden owl mask. A la Batman Court of the Owls.
Yes.
Like the talons and owls. And I thought the owl mask was rad.
Yep.
Owlman's character is the most undeveloped character in the entire film, an unused character, like... Oh, God. They really dropped the ball near the end with these last couple of killers, I got to admit.
Yes.
So, she gets Rose. They go find Maddie.
Yeah.
They get there. Owlman keeps his distance.
Yes.
He's another distancer. A Michael Myerser, if you will. Kind of. Not really, actually.
Yeah. So they find Maddie. They have their moment. They're like, I found you. Oh, I didn't expect you to find me. Like, oh, I'm so glad you're here, though. Meanwhile, Rose is getting fucking pissed off.
Mad jealousy vibes.
She's
like, but you're my friend.
Yeah. So she's getting pissed off and she's yelling at Maddie. She's like, you're a bad friend. You didn't come to her. You're a bad friend.
Yeah, she's crazy.
She's being insane. And then, of course, we see Owlman approaching.
Owlman's coming down the crest over the hill, over the grassy knoll.
Yep. Kayla starts to lock up. She's clearly going back into another seizure.
She's having a fit. She's having another blackout right at the moment, like when she really shouldn't.
And then at this point, Rose pulls out a knife.
They're all together looking at Owlman.
Yeah.
Slowly walking towards them.
She pulls out this knife and slits Maddie's throat. Did you notice the smirk that she had on her face as she did it?
Yeah, she Battle Royale her. That's what I thought. She's the winner of Battle Royale.
And then it's like blackout. We're now in a blackout. Kayla wakes up. She's being spooned by Maddie's dead body. And then Rose is like, I saved you. I saved you. Like,
No. What you missed out is here. She cuts Maddie's throat, and then Owlman was Maddie's protector. So Owlman's head explodes. That's how.
Yep.
That's the conclusion Maddie comes to How did she know whose killer was who, though? How did she know it wasn't Kayla's? How did she know it wasn't hers?
I'm assuming because this guy has only
it's a plot hole.
I know.
It's a plot hole.
It is.
Because she didn't take notes of who came out of what box, you know what I mean? Unless she did. Because she's crazy. So, yeah, but then... Wait, it doesn't show our man's head exploding.
No.
It shows a little bit of a CG head explode and cuts away from it, which I'm like, I feel that they must have had the head exploding practical effect, and it didn't work.
Yeah.
It didn't work at all, and so they grit their teeth and they did a CG head explode, but didn't show it. Like It's just like, yeah, okay, yeah, it didn't work, fair enough. But at this point, with the amount of like kills that I felt like I'd been ripped off from, I kind of got pissed off at that.
Okay.
I was like, come on, you started with the best kill of 2019.
Yeah.
And you're ending with off-screen kills and stuff. Weird.
Yeah.
And Al's man head explodes, and then we see Rose smile, like the evil fucking smile. Then cut to black, and that's why I wrote, she is the survivor of Battle Royale.
Yep.
Cut to black.
Yep.
Kayla wakes up, spooned by the corpse of her best friend.
Yes. Yeah, Rose is saying that she saved her. They start having an argument, and then Rose just runs off.
Rose does a fucking panic attack. She's just like, you killed me. Because Rose just tells her the whole plan as if it was the best idea ever. She's like, I killed your friend, and the owl man exploded. I saved you.
Yeah, because we're best friends now.
We're best friends. And now Maddie's out of the picture, which is great, because now we're best friends.
Let me tell you about my best friend.
Yeah, so Kayla fucking obviously has a mental breakdown, starts bawling her eyes out and says to Rose, you killed my friend? I wish you had died.
Yeah, I would have fucking killed you.
And she's like, you're not my friend.
Yep. Rose runs off in a screaming huff. Kayla cries for a bit, and then we see Kayla with a knife.
Yeah, Kayla picks up she's still got the Bowie knife.
Yep.
From, I don't know where she got it from
someone.
Yeah, she's got the Bowie knife that Babyface had.
Yep.
Oh yeah, because Rose had it.
Yeah.
Yeah, Rose had baby knives.
She dropped it. She dropped it and ran.
Yeah, but like she had that knife because it was pinning her to the wall.
Yep.
Yeah. So that and she had the knife which cut Kayla's throat, Maddie's throat, and then when she has her little kid's hissy fit, like, you're not my friend, I'm going, and then drops the knife and she runs off back into the bush because she is like she's now there's no killers left, it's only her and Kayla left.
Yeah, that's it.
So she runs off into the bush, and then eventually Kayla gets her shit together. She's like, she's broke. Done. She has gone past any limit of any human. The one thing that was like pushing her to go on, which was Maddie, to find Maddie, is gone now.
Yep.
She's snapped. She's like saying, she walks to the perimeter that we saw before with the little wagon that we know she can't walk any closer. She gets a fucking Bowie knife, puts her finger under her eye.
Yep.
And then proceeds to cut out her own eye. And we see it, we don't
see it.
Why didn't we see it?
We see this happening from the back.
I was like, come on.
Yeah.
You've already showed an eye coming out. How did you do it? Do you know the reason why they didn't show us? Because it's too hard to do. It's too hard to cut out your own eye. Mm. She cuts her own eye out. The noise she made, though, was perfect.
Yep.
Her screams of agony and pain, the sound she made is the most amount of pain you can possibly go through.
Blech.
Although I thought you'd sit down to do that. Because you wouldn't be able to stand. You go to your knees.
You just lean up against the wagon.
I thought she would you would pass out.
Yeah.
Because your eye is a nerve connected to your brain. It hurts to get dust in your eye.
It does.
Can you imagine cutting out your own?
No, I can't.
So you'd have to pop out your eye first and then cut off your the nerves. Anyhow, she cuts her own off and drops on the sand. I would have kept my eye just in case I could have get it put back in.
Well, not just that, but hello authorities. I've just been through some traumatic experience, and here's my eye of proof.
Yeah, eye of proof. Yeah, she could have kept the.
Yeah.
Anyhow, she when she walks up to the perimeter with no eye, it doesn't go red, so she can go through. She's escaped, but before she escapes, she grabs one of the lights that are on top of one of these poles and rips it off and takes it with her. I'm like, why? That's weird.
Yeah.
Why does she want that? Maybe she needs proof or something. We don't know. Anyhow, cut to black. I thought that was going to be the end.
Same. Well, we get this shot of Rose first. So Rose is there's this final flash. We have this final flash through of the bush, all of the dead girls, and
we
then,
kind of see the carnage left of the game.
and then it's Rose standing at the edge of that clearing. She's watching Kayla walk out into the nothing, and she's holding the axe or the machete. Yeah.
Yeah, so she's like seeing Kayla has left. She has obviously won the game.
Yep. And then you just hear this prepare the winner.
No, yeah, then it cuts back to that room.
Yep.
And we see all the other screens have skulls on them, every one of them apart from Rose's.
Yep.
Meaning she's the only one left, and the man in the suit, who we don't see from the back, he goes like, prepare the winner for the next match.
Yep.
So you don't even winning just makes you go to the next match?
Yeah, you just...
Because it's not actually about winning.
Yeah.
Then so that means also that I feel that, this is the second time Rose has won.
Yep. Definitely.
And then we cut to a completely different scene. We cut to a nice house, and there was a man watching the footage in a VR headset.
Yep.
A very rich man. So you're like, ugh, it's for rich people's just entertainment. So they become, and it shows what she's seeing, and it goes back to the very first kill in the movie. It's showing, like, the VR, where they kept pushing the axe through the girl's face. So you experience the kills in VR. You get to be the killer and kill these girls, which is what, this horribly rich man is watching. And I reckon he should have had an erection.
He should have, yes, probably. He should have been doing something a little bit wrong.
Yeah, wanking or something. He was just subtly watching it in, like, a fucking $4,000 Eames chair or some shit like that.
Yeah.
And he's sitting there watching his VR. He takes his VR helmet off because he loses his connection.
Yeah, it glitches.
He rings up the company and basically has a rich boy hissy fit over, like, I paid millions of dollars for this stuff, like, where's my fucking feed of the killer? So you hate him.
Yeah.
You hate him so much.
We hate him.
He is the problem. He is like,
yes.
He created, he is why all these people, just for his entertainment, or a bunch of other people's entertainment as well.
Yeah.
But then he hears a sound. What's that?
A sound in the house?
In my house?
What?
I'm a single bachelor.
I'm rich.
I don't have sounds in my house. We both said the same thing. And then straight away you're like, oh yeah, fucking Caleb bursts in.
In Sunnies.
With fucking, with a blind person Sunnies that you can't see her eyes. Ties him up. Starts tasering him and shit. And
taser face.
And then he doesn't recognize it. She takes off her glasses and stands up, and he's got the eye, and he's like, no, you can't be.
Yep.
Rose won that game.
Yep.
You died. Like,
yep.
And she's like, she says some cool line. Apparently I didn't.
Yeah. And then she starts like, I need names. And he's like...
Oh no, at first he goes, how did you find me? And she goes, maybe you shouldn't put the brand of your company on your items. So that's why she took the thing.
Yes.
So that's why she took the light, because it had a brand on it, and so she's he's the owner of the company who makes the tech for the show. And he's like, I'm just like you, blah blah blah, and then she basically starts torturing him.
Yep.
And to get the names out of all the other people. So she is like the one. She has snapped. She has nothing to lose. She has turned into the ultimate killer. She is now the ultimate killer.
Yep.
And she is taking out all the people that are the rich people involved in this game, which is pretty satisfying. A bit cheesy, bit of a video game ending.
I hated it.
You hated that bit?
I hated it. It should have just ended at Rose and just saying prepare the winner. I think this part was not...
It's cheapened it.
Yeah, I thoroughly enjoyed this film up until this moment, and then I was like,
but wait, we haven't said the best bit.
Okay.
Is that Kayla also has a ghost friend now. So she sees Ghost Maddie.
Yes.
And so Ghost Maddie is sitting on the couch watching her torture this person, which I don't think was an actual ghost. I think it's the PTSD and the hallucinations from her syndrome mixing together to create the ghost of Maddie that she thinks she sees. And that's how she makes a decision. She asks the ghost of Maddie what she should do. Yeah. Which I was like, still, nah. Because everything else was so based in reality.
Yep.
Everything else in the game was either technologically based. There's no magic, no ghosts, no thing, which usually... I actually thought this... final thoughts. One of your final thoughts is you thought that end bit was shit.
Yep. Sorry. I thought this film was absolutely beautifully shot. I loved the mask design. So, like, the costume design, we'll just blanket it in that because who doesn't love a bit of Hard Yakka? The gore was on point. The gore in this, like, the kills.
The gore was on point, but the kills weren't on point.
Well, we
there was
got a couple of good ones.
There was hits and misses
Yeah.
in this film in the gore categories department, I reckon.
If they hadn't have spent that time having that after end scene,
You could just
we
stop
could have
it.
had more kills. Better kills.
You could have had, yeah. I feel like they felt like because the killers' heads exploded, they didn't have to have cool kills for the killers. But I always found that that's the best part in films when you see the gore of the killer. Like, the killers should have, like... One of the killers should have lost an arm and kept going.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? They had a blood stump and... You know what I mean? Or something like that.
'Cause,
There
like-
should have been, like, knives sticking out of them by the end. You know what I mean? They should
Yeah.
have been, like, pincushions, the killers. And explain that by just showing them that they take an injection before they go in, which makes them not feel pain. And it would have made it so much more cooler.
Some weird
And it would have...
roid rage or something.
Or it just shows that the guy who's controlling the game, when one of the killers gets hurt, they just go administering painkiller.
Yeah.
So, you know, as in... And it would have been a simple line. It would have made it so okay, I can dispatch from reality the level of injuries these people can have because there's some magic drug in them.
Yeah.
I would have been fine with that. Bath salts turns them into... Like, you know what I mean? Like, they stop feeling pain and they go crazy. Like,
Yeah.
I just thought that could have been a really cool thing. And I reckon that was what each killer was lacking. They needed the bath salts to make them cool.
Like, I don't need...
They need... Yeah.
crazy. I don't need... For a film like this, I don't need a huge backstory. I don't really need to care about these women too much.
No, you're not supposed to care about them.
I don't want to care about the killers too much. So I don't really need, like, these back... Like, you get as much information as they want to give you for this. So we get that, you know, Axeface is just... He's kind of nice. You get that Leatherman is a fucking psycho.
It's a psychotic killer that probably
your
kills
baby
outside.
face who's a bit
A coward, but then the
cowardly.
rest are nothing.
But then the rest of they're just like... It's just
A dude in a mask.
kill fodder.
We're on Yakka.
Yeah.
But,
But yeah, it could have 100% just ended with Rose standing there staring Kayla down. I think.
or done the smile out of
Yeah.
Battle Royale. Yeah, I thought this film was fucking great.
Yeah,
Great fun.
I loved it. Yeah.
Great fun. I didn't like the video look. I didn't like the look of the film. They pulled out all the green to give it this really weird cold look.
Yeah.
I like green. I
Yes.
wanted the greens put back in.
Yeah.
If I rewatch this film, I'm going to saturate the greens. I'm going to put them back in.
You're going to just do it yourself?
Yeah.
That's fine.
Yeah, the killers look... Some of the killers look great, but they turned out to be all samey in the end and boring. The gore was rad when the gore was there.
Yep.
The story was okay, but it was, like, quite easy to guess what was going to happen halfway through.
Yeah.
And as I said, it
Which
didn't
is
have that next onion layer.
Yeah.
I thought it was going to peel one more off. And I think their idea of the peel-off onion layer was that epilogue bit with her going to kill
Yeah.
them all. But that wasn't
It just
clever.
didn't work for me.
No, yeah, that
Didn't
was
work for me.
But I did right. This is gore porn done right.
Yes.
See, I don't usually like gore porn films.
No, you don't.
But this is like fine because it had that level of interest.
Yeah.
I would have actually have liked them not being masks on the people, that they were attached to their faces. I would have thought that would have made
Ooh.
like he had actual just holes in his face with no eyes underneath it, and just giving it that real kind of like that they go through surgery to alter their faces. Like
That would have been good.
yeah, because the first guy had burn face.
Yeah.
Like, so he actually, that was his face.
Yeah.
He didn't have a mask on. So I was like, oh, they could do like, I just thought that would have been a cool idea. Like have the dude that he actually had his face turned into an owl. Like, and so he just has to do this. This is his thing.
Yeah.
Anyway,
That would have been good.
something cool. To make him the more, like, dislodged from reality people. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
Yeah, maybe like the baby face guy, he had like a backpack that just played baby crying the whole time. Like just weird shit. Like that made them more interesting. Like,
I like that.
or
yeah.
you had like dead babies as a belt, like, or hanging off, like, you know, when you kill rabbits and you hang them off your belt, he had like babies. Just fucked up shit.
Just something.
I
Something
would've
a little bit next level. What did you give this?
I gave it a B
Yep.
for a beer and chicken wings movie because I think it's a great film to have beers, have your mates around. Because I kept wishing I was watching it with someone.
Yeah.
I kept going like, I wish Jen was here, or I actually thought as well, like, I wish Ross was here. I
Yep.
would have enjoyed this with Ross, or just any of my horror friends. This feels like a movie where you can throw you wanted to throw your theories back and forward with
Yeah.
someone while watching it. So it's the perfect beer and chicken wings film.
Yep. No, I agree.
Yeah, so I gave it a B.
Yep.
For beer and chicken wings.
That is fantastic.
Group hangout.
I 100% agree with you that I gave it an A for awesome. I think everyone should give this a go. Like, if you're into the horror and you're into this kind of stuff, this is definitely one to watch. I also gave it a J. All that gore just speaks
Gen
to me.
special.
Yep.
Yeah, but it turned out to not be a Gen special, in my opinion, because Gen special has also that added.
That level of cheese.
Yeah, the level of like it borderlines between being just a bad film. Like, as in, like, it balances that act on the rope with, like, one end of his balancing pole is bad shit film, and the other one says, like, Gen special.
Yes.
Like, where this one, like, still, like, you can't, like, the word, like, to have a J and an A together is almost an oxymoron.
Thanks, Dan.
Yeah.
I'm okay. I'm okay with that. I've got my thing. I've got my shtick, and I'm happy with it.
Okay, what are we watching next week? So as I said, I didn't plan, but I've already pre-planned a whole bunch of ones because I know this moment's always going to happen to me.
This is, yes.
So I'm just going to pick in order. I'm going to make us watch Critters 2.
Fantastic.
Which I've skipped the first one because it is a cool film. It's very simple, but I really remember loving the second one. Critters 2 is the Gremlins 2 of Critters.
Yep.
Like, Critters 1 is very serious in that, and then Critters 2 just goes ham with the idea of Critters. Have you seen Critters 2 recently?
No.
Have you seen it?
I can't recall the last time I've seen any of the Critters.
It's set at Easter. Oh, I wish it was a Christmas one. Hang on, are anyone's Christmas movies?
There are so many Christmas movies. None of them are on your list.
Isn't next week, though, our last episode of the year?
Yeah.
No, is it? Or we got one more?
So the 19th... Yeah, no, it is. It's our last episode of the year.
I'm going to scratch that because we should watch a Christmas movie.
We should.
Can you think of, like, can you brainstorm any? I don't have any written down. Silent Night, Deadly Night. I'm sure there's more.
There's Santa's Sleigh,
Krampus.
which is Krampus. We could watch Krampus.
I haven't seen Silent Night, Deadly Night.
Let's watch that.
Have you seen it? It had a
couldn't tell you
lot
the
of
last time I've
controversy
seen
here
it.
when it came out. I remember it was on the news as being like, all these things. I've never seen it. It is old.
Yep.
It may be really bad.
Let's do it.
Okay.
I love it.
Let's lock it in. Silent Night, Deadly Night, our Christmas fun edition next week.
Do your homework.
Do your homework, people.
Yes. Thanks, guys. You've been listening to TerrorVision Horror Podcast with Dan and Jennifer. We are available on all streaming services, including SoundCloud, Stitcher, Spotify, iTunes, iHeartRadio. Basically, anywhere a good podcast can be found. We're also available on the YouTube. But no matter where you choose to consume us, please make sure to hit the like button, subscribe, leave a comment or a review, and share with all of your friends.
Aww.
Yeah. We also have an Instagram at TerrorVision Pod, which will keep you up to date with upcoming episodes, trivia, and of course memes that are probably 3 years old by now.
Yeah, cool. No,
'Cause
15 years old.
I'm not part of meme culture.
But they're all horror memes.
Yeah. We also have an email, terrorvisionpod@gmail.com. Let us know what you want us to watch, discuss, anything like that. Our opening and closing music is Void Swell by Sister Wife.
And if you want to check me out more, Dan McGuinness.
Damn right.
Head over to Greenlight Comics in 18 Stevens Place in the city of Adelaide, just down the side of the Maya Centre, which is my comic shop, where I will be there sitting behind the desk if you want to chat films. We get actually a lot of our listeners coming in, like
That's
going,
fantastic.
hey, look, yeah. So if you want to come in, I'm completely fine with that. We will, as I said, we will be making merchandise soon. Now I've been inspired to make some pins.
Yes, let's just get through this terrible season.
Yeah, some pins and some T-shirts and stuff like that. I'm heaps into my Compound Fracture. I might do it as a graphic, Like
Could you please?
Compound Fracture, because there's so many Compound Fractures in all our films that we watch. And our McConaughey fucking fucked pin.
I'm having a vision.
And do it in the Texas Chainsaw Massacre Next Generation logo font.
I love it.
And until next week, may all your dreams be nightmares.